this is not actually a podcast that you're on. I just lured you into the
It's like
first
casting
for the
couch.
first- yeah, exactly.
Casting couch for tattoo
I
artists.
see you got that cute mustache.
Oh, it's just for you, man. It's
Yeah.
those whiskers you can really grab onto.
You knew
know?
you were coming here, so you grew it out.
I thought about growing my like mutton chops out too. But,
Yeah.
Last time that happened, I was left with like a real bad rash.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
So you grew out the stash.
Yep.
You're sitting on my casting couch.
Yeah.
And now we're ready to roll for
Jesus.
my filming of my premiere of my OnlyFans. Thank you for coming out, by the way.
Bobby's buttholes only.
Hell yeah.
BBB. Or
Cheers.
BBO. Yeah. No shit.
Let's fucking do it. Thanks
Cheers.
for sharing
This is
some of
that,
these.
one we haven't tried yet. Dog
Yeah.
Swenson's.
Oh, you poured it for me?
I did. I hope
Okay.
that's okay.
Hell yeah.
You didn't have anything else in there, I don't think so.
No. I was clean. So this is, what is this? A cast
That's nice.
French
That's
toasted.
actually really nice.
Some French oak casks. Fuck yeah. Let me see.
Honestly, I've had so many
I'm
of these
getting
now.
like a maple.
I can't smell much.
No, I know. You start after.
Yeah, it's all just a blur. But the taste is still really nice, actually. Light on the palate, caramely.
Oh yeah, not bad. It almost has like a double oaked
Yeah,
taste.
little oak taste. Oak and caramel.
Good stuff.
Light.
That's how you say it, caramel?
Caramel.
I say caramel. What's correct? Do you even know?
Both.
Okay. Is it like an tomato thing?
Nobody says tomato, but yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't met one tomato.
The quote should be, I say tomato and nobody says tomato. Unless you're a fucking retard.
People would get it, though.
Yeah.
They would definitely understand.
That's funny.
That's a good question. Can you say retard if you're on the spectrum?
Well, yeah, because that's why I say it.
You technically would be on it, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that would mean you're retarded? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't write the rule book, but I'm trying to figure it out. I can't find
okay.
it. Every place I've tried to purchase it through.
You're a better guy than me
Why is that?
because I'm not even trying to figure it out.
Or you're not?
No.
Oh, man.
If there's rules, I want to break them.
Makes you a good artist.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
You think that's what it is?
Well, I mean,
So maybe I better start breaking more rules
you know,
so I can become a better artist.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even like start breaking people and that'll be your art, you know?
Yeah. Like you mean like physically just breaking them over the head or something?
I kind of honestly feel like I'm encouraging narcissism.
Well, that's how I feel about like the fact that we're even sitting here with headphones and microphones. Sometimes I wrestle with this idea of
that's a
like,
good idea, yeah.
hey, Bobby, you should do the podcast again. And it's like, sure. But don't you think it's a little bit narcissistic to just sit here and talk?
It depends, though. If like you're actually like sitting here talking because you want to talk to the person, there's something to figure out, then no, not at all.
Yeah.
But if it's just
But where
like,
did you get this idea that I want to talk to you?
No. I didn't. I wanted to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is my podcast.
Oh. If you cancel me and sue me, man, look at you with these stiff pores, bro.
Yeah, I thought that was
You
enough.
filling the cup up, huh?
Is that too much, man? I don't know.
I feel like this is like whiskey looks like how your piss looks after a good night
Actually
when you're in
does.
your young, like mid-20s.
It straight looks like piss.
Yeah.
Probably why it tastes so good.
No, but like you ever had piss like this after like a rough night?
I've never tried piss before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, one time, but that
So you're
was-
not a golden shower guy
No,
then?
but if you heard of the song "Yellow" by Coldplay,
Never have.
it's about piss.
Maybe I did hear it.
Yeah, it's
I'm just trying to block it out because I don't want to remember listening to Coldplay.
it's a different. It's a pretty probably their best
You know,
song. Most
Everyone's got a little bit of gay in them,
yeah.
but I ain't that gay. You
Well,
know
I
what I'm
mean-
trying to say?
Sometimes you got to go full tilt to figure out where the line's at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Coldplay's not it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't think so.
You can still come back.
Let me make sure this shit's fucking recording. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's funny.
Unfortunately,
Nowadays, you know, hey, let's start a podcast, aka let's become a videographer,
It'll be
audio
different.
engineer.
yeah. Like if you had fucking a dude you were paying to fucking run it, that
Yeah.
wasn't trying to, you know.
Bro, I don't
shank
even
you
know
at
if
the same
there's.
time.
I don't even know if those type of people exist.
Yeah,
They do.
they got to.
I need like a. I want to get this cracking. You know what I mean? But I need like a young Jamie or something hanging out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, just somebody who wants to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
It was
Push some buttons.
Yeah.
Make sure the shit's pointing at me.
somebody just hanging out to be fucking hanging out anyway. Like they'd
Yeah.
be here anyway, and I know this shit. You know,
Yeah.
like obviously you compensate them. You know, that's not the fucking issue. But
Yeah, I'm weird with that shit, man. Who I let into my circle, I think. Even like apprentice wise, I feel like my parameters for an apprentice, like someone who doesn't exist, essentially.
yeah, what do you
Yeah.
mean?
Like, I'm very like picky who would be hanging out in my fucking.
That part makes sense. What do you mean by like doesn't exist? That's the part I didn't understand.
No, I'm sure it does, but you know, I think it's like anything else. I think finding an apprentice is like akin to finding love, right? Like,
Yeah.
for example, like you have to love yourself before you can attract someone to love you, right? Like it seems quite simple, right? Like, and you see it around you, especially when you're in like a good, what you feel is like a good relationship with somebody. And you see other people like yearning for the same type of love and they can't seem to find it, but it's easy for you to see as like an outsider that they don't love themselves. Yeah. You're like, bro, you just like,
they're like over giving or in order to
just
receive
anything.
love.
It could be a whole fucking wide variety of things, but you see it because I feel like a lot of things, and much like tattooing, when you kind of like make a leap, you kind of look like not down. I don't mean like derogatory, like down on someone, but you look to people who might not be as far progressed as you in said field, whether it be like tattooing or personal growth. And you're like, man, it's right in front of you. How are you not?
It's hard to see until somebody shows you.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So once you see it, you can't unsee it, right?
And a relationship between a mentor and an apprentice is a difficult one because I feel like I've seen a lot of apprentices have a lot of resentment towards their mentors.
Sure.
And not many people I've seen be able to pull off an apprenticeship successfully enough that the apprentice wants to stick around in the shop, wants to still be there after they've completed their apprenticeship, and wants to keep working with those people. That's even more rare.
I'm gonna go as far, and I'm gonna agree with you, but I'm gonna go even further. And I almost feel like if you're the type of person who could apprentice under somebody, and if they apprentice you right, and you take the advice that they say, and they have really good intentions, and they're a good artist with a lot of respect, and they teach you this, and you want to work there, and you want to give back to them to that deep extent of what you just said, I think you're a bitch.
I would say bitch, but I wouldn't think you're like pushing yourself as hard as you can. Right?
I think that guy taught you wrong.
There's that possibility.
I think that
but I will hold you here because
go ahead.
Rimber is the one guy that I know that's held on to a lot of apprentices, and they're good fucking artists.
Okay, so maybe you're saying he broke some kind of barrier.
I think that he's actually one of the few people I've seen doing it right.
Okay, so you're saying he's harnessing some apprentices and then they're sticking around
because
they're
like
whatever
they
they're but this is an from what I understand, an enlightened guy.
Yeah, he's a smart man.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Very fucking competent.
So very few people could do it, and I'm not. And I guess and thank you for bringing that to light.
But I agree with you.
But
too.
I guess, but you're right too. But before we get to that, let me say I think you're right because maybe he just broke the mold and found a way to do both. Maybe I don't know. I don't have enough experience.
The apprentices were competent.
Sure.
And he nurtured that.
Right.
And
gave them a reason to want to stay.
Yeah, and they worked hard. They still worked hard. They put in the work.
Sure.
So it's not like it was like he just gave to somebody that didn't want it. Pearls to swine. And it's not like the apprentice was killing themselves for this person that didn't deserve it. It seemed like there was actually like a mutual relationship.
Right.
And I've seen, but that's also too to show against the industry that a majority of the fucking apprentices that I've seen build their apprenticeship with a mentor, it doesn't fucking go well. Like a majority of the time it like goes bad and the apprentice doesn't like their mentor or doesn't listen to their mentor. And like, I can understand why.
But I feel like if you're a young gun and you're like in the shoes of an apprentice and you are taught what I think would be correctly or competently, and you exit that experience with enough wherewithal to not burn that bridge or be hungry beyond what that person could show you, it almost makes me feel like a little bit of like a complacency. And I would like to teach the person who I teach that you should seek more than what I have.
Yeah, I think I look at it like not to get all fucking deep. Carl Jung had a quote about the ideas or groups, ideologies. He said, you need an idea or a group to find something to seek. And then within that, you have to separate from it to become an individual. Now, if you're an apprentice and you got your mentorship and then you stay there, you never become an individual. And the whole idea, the whole expression in art is to become an individual.
Correct.
That's why we do it.
So as a mentor, I'd want to beat that into my apprentice's head. So much so that like if you hang around with me for the next 25 years, I fucking taught you wrong.
Yeah, essentially like wasted your time instead of helping you,
Yeah.
And like
if my intention is to teach you how to tattoo so that you can yield me a return on a business investment,
I don't think that's his intention. No, I can understand what you're getting.
No, I'm not talking about him at all.
I know.
I'm just saying this in general.
Because I've seen that too, where people are like just businessing it.
Then if you're businessing a person, I feel like what you're doing is just short-sighted.
I think that's why the relationships go sour. There's a lot of the times
This is why I'm bringing it up.
What the fuck?
This is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because, the truth always rises to the top.
It does. Yeah.
Like some of those like Italian Gavone guys where I used to live used to say, hey, kid, I'll tell you what, the cream rises to the top.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Those Italian guys have a lot of cream.
It's fucking funny, bro. That's like one thing about being here in Texas that I don't miss, I think. Like,
Italian people?
No, not Italian people. Just like those guys. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. I grew up in Texas. So me like seeing those guys actually is like, wow.
I'm talking about these guys like, the other day I was tattooing a guy and I was fucking saying like talking like one of those guys from from New Jersey. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, tell your mother I said hello, would you?
Okay.
One of those guys. And he goes, man, you sound like fucking Joey Diaz.
That's hysterical.
And I'm like, I sound like Joey Diaz because that's how people there sound.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's a real character. And I'm like, it is.
Dude, I thought the same thing when I moved to Rhode Island. I was like, man, these are
you're like hanging
people.
out with Peter Parker from the fucking.
No, it was like, Peter Parker would have been funny because the laugh, but like.
That is his name. I know, Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin. And why did I think of Spider-Man? Like, what the fuck?
Because I fucking said
You
it.
said Peter Parker. And I was like, yeah, that's the guy.
Why did I say that?
I learned recently that Rhode Island has the highest concentration of Italian people of anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
Well, it was on Google, so they can't lie. So
yeah, Google doesn't really lie, right?
No, it doesn't lie.
I've never seen Google lie.
Google can't lie. It's
I actually just uninstalled. What is that one I have?
Chrome?
No.
Brave?
No. Well, I had that too.
DuckDuckGo?
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
I just uninstalled it.
Why is that?
Because Google doesn't lie.
No, Google doesn't lie.
Yeah.
I've actually never used.
I'm actually lying. I never uninstalled DuckDuckGo.
I've actually,
I still have DuckDuckGo.
I've never used DuckDuckGo.
Why?
Because I like Google. I like that it's tracking me. I like it keeps account of all information.
I think that's a pretty good reason to use Google.
Yep. Yeah. Makes things so much easier.
I mean, you might as well just give them your information.
I've done that too. Just to be sure they have
it. It's a real good idea to just give like a corporation your metadata. Don't you?
Even if we don't want to, we're all doing that. No matter what. Like we have.
I tried. There was a period.
Have you seen these?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, but
all the time. Actually,
I spent a good amount of time trying to remove Google from my life. Seriously.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah. Until I needed to find a good reference photo for a tattoo, and I'm like, "Fuck this DuckDuckGo shit."
I haven't tried to go. I was actually being honest.
No, DuckDuckGo I use for information because obviously Google, it's not fucking rocket science. They're pretty biased.
But I've heard DuckDuckGo is like biased too.
Dude, everything's biased.
That's how I feel.
It's kind of a scary time.
Yeah.
I think
it's actually difficult to get credible information.
It is, and then now you got AI coming around.
Yep.
And AI is woke.
Have
you heard about that?
Actually, that's the hard part with it. Even if you're eliminating the woke part element of it, is like determining the information without bias. Trying to get information without bias in it altogether is incredibly difficult. So,
my problem though is not just that you can't get information without bias. It's that information that they're saying is the information that isn't biased is the most biased.
Yeah, but I feel like news and all that bullshit is usually.
But I guess that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's always anything you're seeing on mainstream.
Right.
In my opinion, is always kind of like
bias.
What they want you to believe.
Yeah,
it's probably not even the fucking real shit.
It's called the agenda, right? Yeah.
But I'm a paranoid fucking person. I'm a skeptical fucking person. So
I don't know, man. I don't know that that's even paranoid anymore. I think that would just be being aware. I think there's a difference between, hey, I smell bullshit and I'm paranoid.
But the problem is that because there's a lack of credible information, because everybody has a bias in their information, it's hard for me to determine if it's just me being paranoid or if it's actually like based on something.
Look, I'd go as far as to say as if you weren't a little bit paranoid about information at this point currently, then I'd be paranoid about you.
Well, there'd be some questions.
Yeah.
And I would hope as a good friend you would ask me those questions.
Because I feel like if I was in a room full of people who just took everything that was told to them by mainstream sources around them as true automatically, I would just feel like they're naive. And I would almost feel like if there was ever like to be a zombie type apocalypse situation in our society,
if we'd even know about it,
I'd just want to know where they live because I'd want to rob them.
You want to rob zombies?
No.
Good.
Do you like Rob Zombie?
What a segue. Not a bad
Speaking of
musician.
Segways, you ever see one of those guys at the mall riding one?
Dude, I saw this guy in Evergreen.
You ever see a bunch of those fucking loser families and when you're on vacation driving one by like the statue of David?
I thought he was cool. He was this
Just
guy.
a family. What fucking dorks? Who's going to wake up at 7 a.m. when you're in Rome? Hey, you want to go to the fucking, go check out like some statue?
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, that too.
That one in Rome. Yeah.
Yeah. Rome, New Jersey.
Well, so
And just like, hey, let's rent Segways.
look, there was this man in Evergreen who had a unicycle.
Okay. But that's far different from a Segway.
It reminded me of a Segway.
Okay.
I was still jealous.
But was he
crashed
was
and
he
ate shit.
was he morbidly obese?
No, that would have made it cooler.
Because when I think of Segway, I think of morbidly obese, which is kind of ironic because Segway means to like, I don't know the exact definition, but
Transition.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've never ridden a Segway. Have you?
never.
I don't understand. How
Maybe
they
I
work.
should ride one before I judge them.
Maybe that's like extreme segwaying is like the thing, and we're just missing out on it.
Imagine if there was a guy with a Segway with like pegs on it and he was fucking grinding handrails like fucking.
Dude, imagine if segwaying was cooler than tattooing.
But who said it's not?
That's my point.
I'm sure a guy who owns a Segway.
For now, this is for science.
That
We
would be
gotta
sick
recap
if you
on
built
this.
like a performance Segway with like a fucking supercharger or
That'd be
something.
pretty dope. I know they have like off-roading tires on Segways.
Do they?
Yeah.
Is that like a thing?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, so is there like more to the Segways than I know?
There's a whole Segway community.
Okay. There really is.
People Segway.
So
into
people
all kinds of
are you just
things.
making this up? Because like I started to believe you, and now I'm not sure. I feel like this is where I understand why you have that thing about credible media.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm
But
not
it
even
really could
I'm
be
not
a
even
thing.
sure if you're
It-
credible now.
I don't know.
You're
We
like a
could-
snake
we
salesman
could
in an
try to
alleyway
Google it.
trying to sell me like fake butt or something.
I would use it. Isn't that technically a fleshlight?
It could be.
It could be. Fake
Yeah,
butt.
but there's also like homemade fake butts probably.
Yeah.
You ever see like those kids? I think they put like tissues inside of a toilet paper roll and flip a condom inside out or something, and then they fuck it.
I've never seen a kid fuck a condom. Not once in my life. I don't think I've been going down the right alleyways. I've seen people shooting up heroin. I've seen that. Seen some people OD and nodding off on fentanyl,
So you
but
seen
not
them
fucking a condom.
So you see them. Oh, it's so bad. Oh.
Welcome to New York. That was my first. I did a guest spot at Paul Booth's shop.
Okay,
It was
did you?
literally
What year
first
was that?
Oh Jesus, 2018.
Okay.
No, it was before I was working. At
So what
Lumbershop.
happened? What happened in
It's
the
probably like
alleyway by
2017.
Paul Booth's shop? Was there a lightning
First time
storm? Let's
fucking
set the
meeting
mood.
man. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, take me through this.
Walk into the shop.
Okay.
Beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Get inside. Clean but dreary. It's Paul Booth's shop.
Yeah.
He's got a certain aesthetic he's going for, right?
Sure.
Talk to him. Talk about working there. Meet a couple guys. Don't want. That's not the most important part of the story. As I'm leaving the shop, first person I see as I come out of the shop, hanging left, walking down the street, bam, heroin immediately. I was like, "How about you share some of that?" You know?
Did you just take your belt off?
I always carry those. Have you seen those like rubber snaps? Right, those are way better.
Like a
than belts.
broccoli fucking rubber
Pretty much,
band?
yeah, but it's like cut.
So you
can,
just
like, tie it.
you legitimately did heroin with a guy on the street?
Well, I mean, his name was Rick, but he was a nice guy,
Okay.
and it was my first Lats Rights experience.
Wow.
Yeah, last one too.
You think that's why they closed up shop?
Probably didn't help. The health department was right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I told
Sure.
him, yeah, I just came out of there.
Where was this? This was Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah, right in Midtown, right next
Okay.
to Oncology.
You were right next to the fucking clinic.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you check yourself in after, or you quit?
No, that was the start of my binge. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
And then
okay.
from there, it was just, coke and hookers
Okay.
just to bring me back up.
Yeah.
Rented an Airbnb. Last time I ever got an Airbnb.
Yeah, I know you were telling me in the past that you were permanently banned from Airbnb,
Yep,
which is
forever.
bizarre.
Yep.
I do feel like Airbnb is on its way out, and I know one of my favorite podcasters, Tim Dillon, mentions this quite often. Is how he I believe he's also banned, hence the gripe. But just from being someone who's not banned and my experiences at Airbnbs, I feel like they're a little bit demanding sometimes.
Yeah, they can.
Like they'll
Well,
charge you a
not
pretty
Airbnb.
hefty fee to
Yeah.
clean,
Yeah,
but
they
then I still need to clean.
Yeah. So the nice thing about hotels is you can fucking trash them. We all know this. right?
Exactly. Yeah.
With an Airbnb, if you don't leave it spotless, you're not getting that deposit back.
What's the would you say is the most trashed you ever left a hotel?
Well, kicking doors off the hinges.
Okay, so you've done that. You've actually removed a door from the hinges at a hotel in which you were staying?
Got the deposit back. They didn't care.
Wow. Why do you think that is, really?
I think hotels have it priced into their structure. I think that's what they're expecting.
It's like a tax write-off, a deductible.
Yeah, so if like I've seen guys do this where they like remove the AC unit, chuck
Right.
it out the window.
You ever think because they thought that you were an undercover cop, they were just like, fuck it?
Well,
Maybe you were doing like some kind of sting operation on like
so I
room
bought
309.
Yeah, I bought a fake badge. That way, never have to worry about being banned from hotels.
Okay.
Airbnbs, they didn't buy it. So
Sure.
I actually had to have like proof. And they were upset there was like fentanyl and cocaine all over the room.
So is this the is this the same fentanyl you copped outside Booth's shop in Midtown?
That was heroin. Different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the start of the whole bender.
I see.
Yeah. That was 2 days later.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, I'm just glad to see you're doing good, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm honestly, I feel pretty good. Haven't drank in like 60 minutes. So,
Okay. Well, cheers.
yeah, cheers to that.
First of all, thank you for doing this,
No,
man.
honestly,
I know
man,
I thanked you again.
I can't.
I'm
thank
sure
you.
everyone watching and listening already knows who you are because you're the world famous Mark Wade.
The world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. From the humble beginnings of
Very humble.
living on the streets.
Under tarps.
Yeah. You did,
Ridiculous.
right?
Yeah.
You were telling me you did.
Yeah. Lived on squirrel nuts and pigeon feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's an interesting diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what were you doing? Were you hunting these things with like your bare hands or you
No,
were...
they have farms.
I just love how anyone watching and listening is like, I don't know if they understand your sarcasm.
No, I mean the laughing definitely helps.
Yeah.
You know, but the farmers for those kinds of things,
Okay.
it's a hard life.
Right.
It's a lot of trees. Nice thing is that pigeons and squirrels both live in trees. So
okay. So you just hang out by the trees and you kind of just make
that's
do
how
like
they
that.
that's how they like ration them together.
Right.
They have these machines that they'll shake the tree.
Crazy.
This whole podcast is just bullshit.
Hell yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah, it
We want to
kinda
know
is.
who you are. And when I think of you, I think of kind of like a sarcastic guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, my favorite thing is actually one of my favorite things about when Sean was here is like he kind of forgot.
Right.
So it was just a lot
Oh,
of
and you were
like,
just provoking him?
I had a great
Just
fucking
pointing
time.
the fingers.
Yeah.
You know, I know you, so you like to poke, but you're like a middle finger guy too, I noticed.
Yeah,
Right?
I like to flip people off.
You do, right?
It's a good time.
It's like a thing because you're such a nice guy, and I find it
Yeah, I
kind
try
of,
to be.
I find it quite interesting for being such a nice guy that you're such a middle finger giving kind of guy.
Well, I mean,
Why do you
so
think that is?
I'll tell you why. I was born in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and my family has a very Southern hospitality kind of feel to it, in the sense that like if they like you, they're going to talk shit to you. So, excuse me, if I love you, that's the nicest thing I can do. You know, it's like me saying like, "Hey, man, you're a good fucking guy."
Yeah,
You know.
I see. So you're like, yeah, it's like one of those things like you only roast those who you love.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I genuinely love
Because you gave me
Most
the
people.
finger quite a few times, I think.
just now. Yeah.
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 But you've done it before.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
So that's like a way, your kind of way of giving like a hug.
yeah. It's definitely not me saying I want to fuck you. Like it's not that, or it's not
Man.
me saying like fuck off.
You kind of had me excited because I thought I had a chance, and now I feel a little bit upset.
Well, I know this was the casting couch.
Okay.
I'm trying to flip it back on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe there's like the casting chair.
Getting into pegging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I don't know. It makes me laugh. So like even I was talking about that earlier. Where like I was doing the guest spot at Grand Junction.
Okay.
Elysium.
Elysium tattoo. Yeah.
And Coot and Sheffield had cut their hair. They had a
Oh, they
buzzer.
no hair anymore?
Coot buzzed his head.
But
Didn't wanna
Jake,
do the
no mullet?
Jake did the mullet.
Oh, he's got the mullet.
He's got a mullet right now.
He's got the mullet again.
Yeah, I was like, Sheffield, that's fucking funny.
Okay, good.
So-
I'm glad to hear he's got the mullet.
I mean, he deserves a mullet. He's
If he didn't have a mullet, it would almost make me a little bit sad.
if he didn't have a mullet, he wouldn't be Sheffield. That's where the power of the Sheffield.
I feel like he'd just be like, chef.
Yeah,
Like
Or-
he would just like delete some of his name.
or just Field.
Yeah.
Boring, man. You can't
Yeah,
just be a
yeah,
Field.
because not, yeah, you're right. Because like,
What's interesting about the field? The
Not
mullet,
much.
The mullet
Not
in the
much.
field. How about the mullet? Have you looked at the mullet in the field?
right,
Jacob Sheffield.
right.
Damn.
I feel like if you have a mullet, it's like a field with some hills.
You know,
Yeah.
some shit I want to walk through.
And I feel like if he kept his mullet, then he's just like, he's a whole person.
Yeah, well, I think that's like part of his personality.
Right.
It's like what makes him who he is
the
that
mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it.
And he's had a mullet pretty early.
Well, when I first met him, he had a mullet.
That's what I'm saying. I met him before the mullet, but he always seemed kind of like a mullety type of guy.
I mean, he's from fucking Florida.
Yeah.
So it just kind of feels like that's where it should be.
Like, you know, and a lot of people would like see a guy with a mullet, right? And
Yeah.
you would almost think like,
I don't want to fuck with that guy.
no, that, yes. And that's like a standard mullet.
Yes.
But like many things, something like that kind of evolves, and you could almost become a little bit of like a tool because you see the value in being a mullet kind of guy.
Yeah,
So you want to like almost like take on the energy of a mullet kind of guy, but you're not really a mullet kind of guy.
I'll tell you what.
But I'm bringing this up because I don't believe that he's not a mullet type of guy. That's a real mullet guy.
He's a mullet guy.
Exactly.
His mullet
right.
inspired this mustache. Because when I saw that, I was like,
Okay.
that's fucking amazing.
You know what's kind of interesting between him like having a mullet and you having that stash? Like you both look like you could have done porn at some point.
Yeah, I've heard
Right?
that. Yep. Yeah. I those were tough days, during that whole heroin bender.
Jesus.
Cameras did get brought out, not too exclusively. My face was never in shot.
Okay.
But, it helped that I had a mustache.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you had the mustache then.
Well, it increases your stamina.
I see.
Yeah. Science.
Right. You think you could even do porn without a mustache like that?
I met a couple guys that did, but they had mullets.
Oh, okay. Exactly.
Yeah, so it balanced back out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a mullet.
Yeah, but when you got a Greek beard god like you do, again, there's something that brings it right back.
Yeah, but I feel like I got something different. Like I feel like I would be like the kind of guy who like watches the people do porn.
Oh, like the cameraman.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you'd probably be great at that. Yeah.
Exactly.
They get paid a lot. They take a lot of loads, though.
Like I'm a little bit weird and I go to the after party with them like after the shoot.
Yeah, that
but
makes
I
sense.
kind of hang out by myself.
Yeah, you're at the crafts table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily participating in the
Right.
festivities, but you're probably like the cleaner version of that industry.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. If you want to start transitioning into like being in those scenes, all the right angles for probably yourself, and then I assume that's how guys get into like the POV shit, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean it makes good sense to me.
I
So how long you been tattooing now?
honestly,
Because like sometimes I don't know what you. You got to check your watch.
yeah, well, I had to
Do you
think,
have
like,
it like set
it's
on
the
there?
22nd of March.
Okay.
So it should be 12 years and 2 months and 22 days.
12 years.
Yeah.
I thought I was tattooing longer than you.
I don't know.
No, 12 years.
I started in 2011.
Oh, no, you've been doing this longer than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just like, you picked it up quicker than I did. You were
No,
definitely,
but you're better than me.
I don't think that.
No?
No.
Why not?
We were completely different fucking
Oh,
styles.
okay.
It's not comparable.
But then how did I pick it up quicker than you?
I think you had better teachers and you were more competent at art than I was. I also think you're more willing to explore art than I was. I think
Okay.
for myself, there was a good 5 or 6 years there that I wasted because I didn't have a good mentor. I mean, I had mentors.
So maybe you're right because I feel like, yeah, maybe I hit the ground running a little bit more.
I think you had people that were pushing in that direction. When I started my mentorship, I was a terrible apprentice because my mentor was, it was at the time where it was like people would say realism doesn't last.
Right.
And my mentor was telling me this and I was like, nah,
No,
fuck you.
everyone's mentor was telling them that.
But like,
I
it's
feel like-
not a good apprentice if you're not listening to what your mentor's saying.
I feel like realism artists kind of, and I use the word realism because I'm also one that would kind of like want to clown the idea of like pure realism. But I say like, I think a lot of people who did like some form of like real variation of tattooing, especially when we started tattooing, we were living in the era where that wasn't nurtured, but it was discouraged a bit because we were still catching the tail end of like those like traddy daddy influence dudes. But the thing that I think why that almost like the phoenix from the ashes
Bursting
kind
out
of
of it.
thing is because the rebellion that those kinds of dudes put into like guys like you or I.
But I try to picture it from my original mentor's perspective.
Yeah.
How fucking frustrating that must have been to have a kid that you're trying to say like, hey man, that's not the right way to go.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to go this way. And
But
it's
this
like,
kind of goes back to what we were saying before. Imagine if that kid didn't say that. I think you'd be a pussy.
but dude,
I wouldn't want to teach a kid who's just like, okay.
I don't know, man. Like that is a hard thing to figure out.
Well, there's a balance there.
It's tough. It's tough to
Because
separate it.
if if you listen to everything, like if you're a generation younger than me, like in the game or whatever, you know what I mean? How can you take everything I'm saying to be current? Because if you look at any trend of art, whether it be like music or art or, you know, fine art, tattooing, whatever, you know, skateboarding, right? If you're teaching somebody who's newer into it exactly the path you took and what worked at that time, they'd be like not part of the new generation.
Yeah, they're just not doing the same thing.
Yeah, and that's gone already. That's outdated.
Yeah, like people jumping
Fucking
in.
Tony Hawk did the 900, like,
Bro.
you know, and kids surpassed them, you know, the next wave. So how are you going to be like instilling? I think as a mentor, you need to know that.
I think the hard part about it is though, is like the apprentice with that paradigm, the apprentice has to want to push into areas that are supposed to be undiscovered. And the hard part is we're supposed to try as a mentor to keep them on the narrow path, I guess you'd call it.
Sure.
But man, I'm like, what else is there to change about tattooing? Like what else hasn't been discovered? Because I can go on my search page and there's 1,000 different people doing 1,000 different things that I was all told don't work.
Right.
And they're doing them just fine. They have plenty of fucking followers and plenty of credibility. And it's like the whole system's fucking changed from what we were used to with it.
Yeah. But can you think of examples in the world of a system that hasn't made those same changes?
What I'm asking really is like what's left? Like we've basically opened up tattooing to the entire idea of art.
Yeah, but that's like after they just laid down the tracks for the railroad system, and then you went over to the Wright brothers and were like, "Yo, dogs, like what's next?" How we already invented a rail system across our whole
What's
country.
Next, right?
No. Before we could fly, and then they were like, "Hold on a minute, let me just doctor up this shit right here in my backyard." And the next thing you know, cats are flying.
Maybe this is just showing how old I am in the game now. To where like I'm just happy to be doing a fucking realistic tattoo.
Right.
Cats are fucking flying. But I'm just
Are they though?
But you get what I'm saying. Like it's
I think
hard
you're flying.
It's hard for me. I wore wings once, but that was when I was a little kid.
It wasn't last night in the Airbnb that you got banned from?
No. That band was like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
4 or 5
and you
years
didn't wear
ago.
wings on that night?
No, there was no wings. No Red Bull involved whatsoever. Get to edit that out because of like
No.
copyright and shit like that.
Nope.
Red Bull.
No, fuck them.
Cool.
Although
I think I'm so
you just
old.
made me think of Mike Perry.
I do miss that guy.
But not to interrupt you, how many fucking Red Bulls a day does he drink? Really? Do you know? Have you seen him? Have you counted?
Yeah, I've watched.
Is
him.
it 3, 4? How many?
So I'll tell you what it is.
Have you ever seen him drink 6?
I've never seen them drink water. So
Never.
Not once
When he
in my life.
consumes liquid, it's Red Bull.
It's all Red Bull. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We went to the hospital one time. Red Bull.
With him? You brought him?
I took him in. Yeah.
Is this a joke? I don't know anymore. Okay. A guy who
bullshit.
A guy who told me he might have had one too many whiskeys is telling me he's fucking mainline and heroin, and now he's telling me he took a guy to the hospital for fucking. Fuck, man. Like I'm so happy to have starting this podcast because this is the beginning of the cancellation.
Yeah.
But actually, long story short, I personally believe that the cancellation era has hit its peak and it's on the backside.
Well, you have to have redemption built in, right? Like people got to be able to have forgiveness for things that they've done wrong and be able to make themselves better people. You can't just fucking like out somebody from a society and let them fucking wither and die.
Well, I think we're finding that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because the people that, like for me, I know as like a huge stand-up comedy fan, if you haven't been canceled, I don't even want to listen to your comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoy darker and edgier shit, you know?
The darker and edgier you could get.
Yeah, I probably am fond of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about my character demeanor, but
I just think that we like being free, man. Like, I think that just, I think
ruffling feathers.
the world was a better place when people just
look, man. When Bush was fucking
were.
running for president, what was funny was what the fuck ruffled everybody's feathers, and it's the same shit now. It's like, all right, well, what's pissing people off?
Yeah.
That's what I'm fucking alerted to.
So that's why we swing back and forth.
I think so. Yeah.
So we went to this one direction where everyone was like a little bit afraid. Man, I didn't even want to do this shit because I'm afraid to talk with my friends and just be myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now I feel like that's becoming like in vogue again to kind of be who you are.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's totally in trend, and I think that gives me confidence to, if not to start blazing that trail. You know,
definitely think there's.
I'm tired of like nonsense corporate, you know.
That's what I love about tattooing is it isn't so corporatized.
But that's also my gripe with tattooing, because it has become
Much more than before.
A lot more than before. And I felt that way when I was at a convention one time. I felt like it was like a new generation with like kind of like a weird mentality, you know.
But this is one of the reasons I left FK Irons. It's like the whole thing started to feel too corporate. Like it started to feel less like the industry that I had grown up in.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, you'd go to a convention, there was 35 fucking machine builders. And it's like, well, fuck, like what are the difference between all of these? You'll never figure it out because there's too many.
Sure.
But at least you knew you were buying from someone who was a tattoo artist or someone in the tattoo artist community.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is like a small business and somebody I want to support, because that's what's helped us grow to the point that we're at now, where a giant corporation's coming in and buying Kingpin so that they can make their money off the whole fucking industry.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. That was I mean, that's what happens to everything, I think, man.
I think to know it's going the right way, yeah, it has to. Like, if it doesn't, then like there probably isn't enough tooth to it there for something to bite into, right?
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense too. And that's like that same principle that you're talking about there is the same reason why many things can move forward. Really, I mean, I guess that's like the basis of being in a capitalistic society, right? Is that like when there's opportunity there and something to be had, then it opens that same opportunity up to people that want to be invested in it.
Yeah, but it works the same with artists too.
Yeah, and I guess I'm kind of agreeing with you. I guess what you were saying is, or just kind of summarizing the point, but I guess it makes sense, and it's really not bad.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly. Same thing with like gentrifying a neighborhood, right? Like I understand you like push out the culture, like, you know, the people that like maybe were raised there and made it like what it is, and you know the culture there and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the diversity or whatever, you know, or just the richness that can arise from the real grit. And then like, you know, all of a sudden people start coming here and investing because those very people made such a cool area that other people want to invest in. And then as a result, it grows, and then it brings in people that are like, you know, more well-to-do and affluent things and yada, 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 right? And then it turns it into like the opposite of what it intended to be originally.
Yeah.
But isn't that just like, to think that wouldn't just happen and evolve would almost be crazy as well. I think that's just a natural evolution of things, is it not?
Well, there's degrees to it. Like, I think initially what happens is those cultures are there and they're real.
Sure.
And the people are building a real community.
Yeah.
And I think the people that are coming into those communities see that and want that experience. So that's technically what they're paying for.
Yes.
And the people after them that actually wash it out completely are pushing those people out, and they're wanting to buy what's real. So I think it's the same with our art. Like, we want to buy something that's genuine. We want to have genuine experiences with people.
Right.
And at the same time, if we're too, I guess, if we put too much pressure into it, it's like chasing a black cat down an alley. Like, you never actually grasp it. You know, it's actually always like slipping through your fucking fingers, because it's not something you can really pen down. It's something that you're just experiencing by living. It's not something that you get to like sit there and be like, I'm a fucking part of this.
But isn't that just like all evolution and just like change? Like everything's malleable. Like nothing is permanent, right? It's like as simple as that. Like, so when we talk about like gentrifying a neighborhood, like I mentioned before, wouldn't then the same culture potentially move to like a different neighborhood?
Well, it disperses.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I mean.
But it's not the same thing it was.
No, it's definitely not the same thing. But it makes room for something new.
It should. Yeah. But then what did we kill to get that? That's the problem.
But even if you didn't want to kill it.
No, nobody will. I don't think anybody wants to. I think everybody likes
this is what I'm talking about. This is just the natural evolution of these types of things.
Yeah.
Is it not?
I think you're right. I think as humans, we want that full, real, human, genuine experience. And I think it's easy for us to fucking lose that. I think it's easy for us to push into something that we think has that, and then realize that it's actually a husk.
But we're just chasing our tails around all the time.
All of us.
But that's part of the experience, is what I'm kind of getting
It's the same as an artist, though. It's like when we're doing a painting, most of the time when I'm doing a painting or a drawing, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. A tattoo the same way.
Exactly. So if you knew exactly what you were saying, like gonna do from the beginning, then there wouldn't be like a lesson to be learned during the journey of that. Right. Like, for example, I don't even know what I'm getting at, but like, I guess what I'm saying is like, if you have like, back to the example of what I was saying before, like a gentrified neighborhood or something, like everyone's yearning for this realness.
Yeah.
And then in the creation of this realness, everyone jumping on board to join the realness brings life to what isn't real in relation to that original thing.
I'll put it, another way to think of it too is like with our art, whenever we pick a niche, it's very easy for that niche to become cliche.
Yeah, exactly.
So if it becomes cliche, it died.
Exactly. But it only died when you're thinking about that thing.
Yeah.
But then it gives birth to the next thing.
It should. If you're doing it right, it should always be like, I'm pushing this.
But this goes back to what I was saying about The Apprentice.
It does,
so if the kid is just hanging out with me, taking the advice that I said, then he's just going to be a recreation of the thing before, and then now you're cliche. So if you come and take everything that I tell you from
it dies. You're right.
You're me now.
Yeah. You
So
just become a fucking copy.
you need to learn what I got and then break away and be you.
You need to be an individual.
And if you're being me, you're probably if you're being you, you're almost gonna naturally resent me a little bit.
Well, I hope not. I hope that
But how
part's wrong. I hope that doesn't have to be the case.
But now we're talking about somebody who already conquered that. I don't know that that's the person that like would.
Well, look, man, I'll put it to you
know.
this way. Like, I feel like for myself, and I feel like for a few other of my colleagues that did work with Rimber, we've separated and become our own thing. And I feel like Rimber was my mentor.
Sure.
So for me, it's like, I think there's a possibility to it, and maybe that's what gives me hope for it.
Right.
I don't want to think that relationship archetype is always doomed. I want to think that there's a possibility that
I don't think doomed.
resentment.
I think I'm talking about it's part of the process. And then I think that if you're on it on a healthy way,
So you think the resentment's to start, and then as it comes back around,
it's like a horseshoe.
healthy. Yeah.
You kind of get back to where you started, and you're actually
Maybe that is it.
You wind up going to have a drink with your mentor
Yeah.
and be like, "Damn, dude,
Yeah.
you're the man." And and the mentor should know that. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the
that makes
mentor
sense.
should know that.
Yeah.
It's like a young sailor, and you're a fucking captain. You sent the kid out to go fucking sail the ocean. And then he went and found the new continent, but then he comes back to you with some of the fruits of this very continent, and it just gives you like a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's it, dude. Now you passed. Like that's like when the mentor would say, it's almost like letting him go.
You
right?
have to, yeah. You have to let him
This
be
is what
an
I would do, but maybe I'm just a fucking dreamy, fucking weird Piscean dude, like thinking that there's somebody out there that maybe one day I can, teach or like help or something, and then they kind of like get it, But I don't know. I never really encountered someone that I think kind of gets it, because I feel like it's like more than just your art.
Yeah.
Your art to me is almost the least important. It sounds kind of silly, because I feel like anyone could kind of make something cool. Like, because there's
I don't agree with that.
Maybe I'm fucking wrong there. I don't know. But
I think, well, I guess the problem with that idea is that like anyone could do anything, and that's not entirely true. Maybe anyone can do anything their own way. At least with art. With art, to me, it feels like something where it's like, I could never copy your style.
I guess it's a dumb thing to say. I mean,
I know what you're getting at.
but me too. But I guess I was saying like, it's almost like anyone can create art, I think.
Yes. I don't think everyone's meant to, but I think that everybody.
No, you're right. Because
can.
some people just need to like.
We don't fit into fucking systems. That's why we're not in a system. Like we literally are.
Yeah.
You put creative people into a fucking business, and we start tearing the fucking thing apart, trying to figure out how it works, trying to figure out how to improve it, trying to figure out like our own little shit with it. And that's not what the fucking system needs. The system just needs a guy to fucking check people in and out. Here's your donuts. Thank you. Have a nice fucking day.
It kind of like reminds me sometimes I'm like driving on the highway, and I'll be like, what is this fucking moron fucking doing, man? And my wife is like, and I have like this thing where I always big. I just know, like, after you get into like one of those crazy like road incidents where you're just like, that person's not smart. Like, I just know they're not smart. Like, I know a lot about you. Like, what you just did, and it wasn't. I know that wasn't like just a bad.
I'm laughing because like the amount of times I have road rage while I'm driving, and Maya's obviously who I drive around a lot, and she's just like, that would have been me.
But what I'm saying is, like, sometimes I see someone do, like, it could be like a maneuver over a minute on a highway, and just the way they did things, and I could tell the way they're even like, I'm like, that's an anxious person.
Probably so.
And like has other issues. Like, I almost know that, like, if I were like dating and then like you were the person I was meeting at a date,
You wouldn't go on that date.
I would
because of
already
that?
be like, nah.
That's funny.
And it's not just because they're bad drivers, because I think it just tells me a lot about you.
Well, I mean, it actually also says a lot about what you're wanting, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, everything is that's like the whole nook and crannies.
Yeah.
Yeah, yin and yang. But but for sure, yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess you're
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
I just
Like,
don't want to hang out with a dumbass.
You're like, I can't fucking deal with stupid, anxious people.
yeah.
You know?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like-
Well, because sometimes I feel like, you know, and I don't mean like I've even struggled with like some anxiousness in my life, and that's why I feel like maybe I can make this point. But I feel like sometimes anxiousness is simply just like a protective mechanism, and I think once you can find out that you don't need, it's almost like think of like a one of those fucking crabs on the boardwalk when you're a kid, like you know what I'm talking about, those
The ones
hermit
that wouldn't
crabs,
jump out of the
little
bucket?
hermit crabs.
No.
And they
Oh,
get in
yeah,
the
I
shell.
understand.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
You buy them at like the carnivals
Yeah.
and shit. Those little things, like it's like I feel like someone with anxiety is just like one of those crabs without the shell.
But I do think when I was younger, I had more anxiety because I didn't realize.
Yeah, you didn't have the experience.
We were talking about this earlier, where like if you're an artist, you can't see what's right in front of you because like you kind of like leaped up to another level
Right.
for yourself. You leaped up to another level, and now you're able to see where this guy's at and what all he needs to do to fucking excel, and he can't see it. And it's the same
Yeah.
thing with this hermit crab.
Okay.
It's like you're so fucking anxious that
Yeah.
you're just like, well, this place is safe, and it's like, yo, dog,
Yeah.
safe works to get yourself on a foundation, but after you've established that foundation, try some shit.
Bingo.
You gotta fucking jump out there and do some wild shit.
And that's why I'm sitting here with you and you're sitting on my casting couch.
Yep.
And we're talking here because I feel like that hermit crab, I started to get a little too used to my little shell.
Out in Jersey?
No, anywhere in my own skin, dog.
No shit.
Yeah, meaning how many days can I just keep doing tattoos on people and being like, cool, here's what I did today.
Yeah.
2 days. It's like, now what? You know, I need to be addicted to something like, and in a good way, like into something. I need to be addicted to something. So,
Have you tried drugs?
I feel like, you know, how many days can I just keep waking up and drawing pictures on someone's fucking armpit? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Have you worked at Last Rights?
dude,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
gotta-
want to do drugs at that place, bro.
Well, you know what? It was a great first experience. All right.
Yeah.
He was a nice man. Not. I
Jesus
mean, Paul
Christ.
was nice, but like the guy outside, way cooler.
Who was it? How'd you get in by the fucking pallbearer?
You just got to do a blood contract and you're good. Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a 23andMe.
It
You
was
ever
like-
do one of those things?
It was called 666 in me, but yeah.
You ever do one of those things?
No, I haven't actually.
No?
I'm a paranoid fucking person. So like I feel like they're collecting data, even though all my family has. Stupid as fuck, I know. But like I just haven't
It's
done
weird
it yet.
because I have done it and I'm like really paranoid about that stuff myself.
Dude, I don't like I get these things in my head and I just can't get over that barrier. And that's one of those things where it's like I want to do it. Part of me does, but like I just
No, I think if
Haven't.
you weren't a little paranoid about that, to me, you're crazy.
crazy, not stupid, right? And sometimes I feel crazy.
No, I mean, I sent the government my fucking DNA.
Oh, I mean that's just like a mandatory
Not the government. Whoever 23andMe is, the government.
corporate, yeah. Every year.
It's funny, yeah, like you say it like that because that's what I feel like the government is, right? I feel like we live more in an oligarchy now, yeah?
Yeah, it definitely feels a
Yeah.
lot more. What is that word? Feudalism. Feels definitely more like a separation of just like the rich and the poor middle class.
Yeah, and I'm not like one of these like socialist type people. I'm just saying like it's obvious that like the people who, you know, have the money could just influence the government, right?
No, it's a fair and just system. Like it pretty much through and through. I don't see any corruption.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We live in a perfect. Yeah.
Well, perfect is far stretched. I would say more like great.
Okay.
You know? Like
Yeah.
great again.
It's great. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. It is great for me.
Yeah, see? Proof.
True. Word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Good talk.
It's a good day, man.
No, it is. Yeah.
hanging out here.
That last whiskey was not bad.
It's not bad.
It's like really drinkable.
Where is this shit?
That one right there.
Thanks for bringing it, by the way.
No, of course.
You
Thanks
need
for
to make
fucking
your
having
own
me.
whiskey, I think.
I could fucking pee in one of those bottles and give you some.
I mean, that's what this looks like,
It
right?
really does look like piss.
Looks like fucking piss.
Yeah. Which, you know, there's an idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I never even heard of this. Oh, but it is some cask strength.
Yeah, no, it seemed kind of like some,
Oh, yeah.
kind of, I don't know. I just looked at it and I was like, yeah, Bobby might like that shit.
Hell yeah.
I
Thanks.
was afraid I was going to break the cork.
What?
Like
you were
twisting
gonna,
it?
You were going to melt the wax with your heat?
Well, you didn't have a knife, and I was just like,
Oh.
I'll just try twisting it.
It's kind of like makes me feel like a little bit like off my fucking game.
Yeah, a little
Makes
less
me feel
American.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
I was-
less American. I feel almost like fucking not like a man.
Yeah, well,
I have a pocket knife on me 364 days a year.
yeah, no, I was disappointed in you too.
And the one day I didn't have it on me was today.
Yeah, I was.
That's crazy.
I thought like I know Bobby, but this ain't.
Are you a
Bobby.
knife guy?
I want to be.
So it's weird because I carry a pocket knife on me every day.
Mm.
I never leave my house without a knife.
No shit.
And once you do it, you'll never realize how many things you need a knife for.
Like how many times you use that knife?
All the time.
Yeah.
If you use it at least 12 times a day.
I just feel like it'd be illegal where I live, even though I'm typically at home.
Yeah, but
so
I used to
have
live in New
knives there.
Jersey and New York.
Yeah.
And I think it's technically illegal to pocket a knife in New York.
Is it really?
Yeah, but I brought a knife with me everywhere in New York.
Dude, you know what tripped
and you know
me
what?
out?
I think they can suck on my dick.
Oh, they might. One thing that tripped me out with New York was taking the health department class.
Okay.
And they said if I were to deny a pregnant woman service,
Okay.
I could be legally sued and lose the case because I denied her service for being pregnant
Yeah.
as a tattoo.
Hey, Bobby, why did you leave New York and move to Texas? Mark, continue the story.
Oh, it's probably the warmer weather.
No, I mean, New York's got a bunch of fucking whack
But
bullshit.
dude, even the health department lady, I was like, I'm not following that rule. And
Yeah.
she's like, look, I have to warn you about it because that's what it is. If you're pregnant in New York, you can order a drink at a bar or you can go to a tattoo and they
Okay.
cannot deny you service because you're pregnant.
So then what did you have to tell her? That you can legally, by all rights, I can tattoo you, but here's what I recommend because X, Y, Z.
No, I just told her I'd take the suit if it came up.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm not going to be, morally, I can't fucking deal with
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's also probably why you didn't hang around New York.
Yeah, but
I mean, I know
so
that's not like actually
how do
why,
you-
but it is.
How do you feel about the whole like New York and Philly shit? Because like people who love Philly hate New York and vice versa. I love Philly. I like Philly
I hate
a lot.
both of them, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't
just, like-
hate them. New York's like a cool place. I think if you've never been there,
Yeah.
like I recommend you
You'd
go to-
recommend visiting.
No, I don't want to visit. I recommend I don't even recommend you visit because you've been there.
Yeah.
I recommend if you've never been there
To visit.
to visit.
Yeah.
But like after you visit it 1 or 2 or 3 times, I mean, I don't
Look,
know.
I think a month there and you get enough of a feel for
If
it.
you spent a month of collective time there,
so expensive.
it'd be good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it would be good. At least you get an idea of what it's
It's
like.
a cool city. Like New York to me is like the city.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it's the overall idea of the city. But you
Yeah.
need like, I don't know what, 25 grand just for a hotel for a month. And then on
Is
top
that
of
much? Is that much?
Well, probably
25
not.
grand?
Probably not. I'm probably exaggerating. It's been a long
Even if it
time.
was 200 a night times 30, what would that be?
I'm really bad at public math.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but I guess I am too.
200 a night, was that 3 grand?
Yeah, so that's far from 25.
Sorry.
And I'm just
So 35 grand to stay
I'm
for
thinking
a month.
200 a night. You can get like at least like a small
I
hotel
feel
room.
like 200 a night is like
Not
hard to
enough.
fucking find. Let's just stay in a hostel. There's some hostels that are 100 a night. I've seen that.
Aren't hostels like $5?
Not in New York.
No,
No.
is that true?
Yes.
Really? Wow.
I've verified from my sources that if you're going to stay in a hostel in New York, minimum $100 a night.
Wow.
Yep.
I was thinking it'd be like 100 or 2. What am I living in like 1980?
100.
I should
That's
take
what I
it-
said.
I feel like your mustache is like
Distracting.
no. I feel like I should be wearing it
Yeah. We
because
both
it's
be
like
undercover
80s.
cops.
Yeah, like You remind me like not even like an undercover cop.
Just 80s.
No, like a guy who would show up to a bachelorette party as the undercover cop.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's been my pivotal role
Okay.
that I've taken on lately. Is,
Sure.
I've been out there in the streets, man, just cleaning it up. You know, throwing people in handcuffs.
Yeah.
leaving them for whoever finds them.
You got real cuffs?
I like the Ziploc ones. Those are much cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I go through a lot of them.
You got those Jan 6 cuffs.
Yeah.
Yo, you're one of the CIA members, I think, that incites violence at the
FBI.
riots.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, before that, we were talking about not talking about that.
I feel like I figured it out now.
We talked about it earlier.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was there.
oh okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were just breaking glass.
No, I was telling people to go into
Okay.
the Capitol.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. I was like,
Because you kind of give, now that it's like the whole time I can't believe I wasn't
no, I was like,
thinking of it.
you guys got this. There's so much stuff in there to steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they pay you good for that gig or no?
Still haven't paid me.
Oh, wow.
It was an invigorating experience.
Damn.
So yeah, they said I should
Fucking government.
I should get a lot out of the experience. You know, they said that goes really far in your resume.
Right.
So here I am tattooing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense because being a cop, I guess you
Undercover.
you tattoo a lot of other people in law enforcement, I would imagine.
Here and there.
Those guys are like a lot of ex-military and stuff, and they like tattoos.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them don't, but I still tattoo them.
I see.
Yep.
So how's business?
Oh, well, I mean, when you're tattooing flowers, a lot of cops get flowers.
Is that right?
All of them. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of funny because I watched you tattoo a lot, and I never seen you tattoo a cop.
Oh, they've all been cops.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're just tattooing the whole undercover community,
Every single
and all
one.
you, and you guys are so undercover that you even fooled me.
It gets real deep state real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really talk.
You
about
are
it
the
much.
fucking deep state.
Right.
Huh?
I've been a part of it since the '60s.
What percentage of your clients you think own cats?
Oh man. Probably at least 50%.
How do you know when one of your clients comes in?
They all own animals for sure.
Okay,
I would say-
but I'm just wondering, like when they come in,
Yeah.
how do you know specifically when you're tattooing someone without them first telling you that
I
they're a
don't
cat
ask.
person?
I ask like they.
You
just-
do,
Yeah.
Are you? So you ask them right up front, you cat or dog?
Honestly, I probably start talking about my dogs, and they'll say like, "I have a cat." I'm like,
Oh,
well,
so they tell you,
Right,
But
I'm
do you ever have suspicion that they're cat people prior to them telling you? And if so, what do you feel like gives it away?
man, I don't know. I've never tried to think about that data wise. I've never dug into that too much. I mean, like if they're a tattoo artist, it's like 80-20 that they're gonna have a cat.
Okay,
You know what I mean? Like that's just a common.
the
kind of
tattoo
thing.
artist.
If they are a tattoo artist,
And you
they have
tattoo a
cat.
lot of tattoo artists.
No, not a lot. You know, but
What
like,
percentage of people that you tattoo would you say is a tattoo artist or a tattoo artist's wife or husband?
1 out of 10, 1 out of 5. somewhere in
Okay.
there.
So you're tattooing anywhere from 10 to 20% tattoo artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, most tattoo artists have a cat.
Let me ask you this. When you tattoo male clients,
Mm-hmm.
did you ever wonder if your dick is bigger than theirs?
No. I just showed them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
no.
when somebody emails you, they go through the process, they deal with your assistant,
Yeah.
they get a date on the book after the deposit's sent.
with a dick pic, just in case.
Okay. So they're coming in full aware that you're going to.
Only if they're male. Yeah, I don't want to
Oh,
date
okay.
the female.
Okay,
There's a
okay.
little boundary of respect there I don't want to
Oh,
cross.
shit. Oh,
but
see, I
men, I think, like, we know what it is, you know? Like,
Okay.
send you one every morning. You know? It's just automatic. Morning, Bobby. Boom.
Is that like you ever feel like that's part of the consultation process? Like
With men, yeah.
if you look at your client's dick,
Dude, they got to
then
know.
does it help give away some?
I'll tell you what it is. If I'm rocking a toothpaste cap, that makes them way more comfortable.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see. So do you feel like when you look at their dick, you kind of get a little bit of a vibe off of how you'll take the design?
Well, they don't always send me one back. In fact, I've had people, like, back out because of it, you know?
You did. So
Yeah.
you had to return the deposit, or they didn't send it yet?
No, they just sent the picture back.
My God. Well, man, I hope you had a good run with your tattoo career.
I aim to satisfy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean
Nice.
with the it's interesting actually with the male clients we do get if they do send.
You know, it's funny because you could talk about male clients because you were probably tattooed, what, 2 a year?
Honestly, it's probably closer to like 4 or 5.
I'm going to
like
be
in-
100% honest, like all jokes aside.
Every client you've
How
ever
many-
seen me tattoo has been female.
How
every single
I've
one.
never seen you tattoo a guy.
Yeah.
Not that I've been near you.
Yeah.
So and I haven't. It's not like I'm around you every day.
No, but when you have been there, it's primarily 98% female.
For me, it's 100.
For you,
So,
it is. Yeah.
that I've been near you.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, look at Perry.
Only tattoos dudes.
No, I'm saying, like, I've sent him a picture of my dick. He passed the test. Now he's got a tattoo on his throat, you know?
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
tattooed Mike
I
Perry.
did. I did.
But that doesn't even count as like a whole real man.
Well, look, that's a whole new world right now. I'm not trying to dig into that. I'm just saying these are the standards that we set.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So when you do tattoo a man, you tattoo Mike Perry.
Yeah. No, I mean, that man.
Oh, you tattooed Andy Foe too.
I did tattoo Andy.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
did. And that
actually.
is like a real ass man.
Portrait.
That's to me, that's like tattooing's David Goggins.
Yeah, for real. Like, I'll work out with him and just
It's
kicks
like
my ass all
the
the time.
tattooing's Jocko Willnick.
Yeah. Just a smaller man of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fucking
No,
strong.
I'm
dude.
just saying I put him in the category with some of these elite
No,
nuts.
I mean, it's
he's
funny.
like tattooing's version.
He's a tough dude. He's definitely a fucking tough dude.
I know.
He inspired me to work out a fuck ton,
Sure.
obviously. I mean, I've fucking put some weight on, but I've been eating like a fucking maniac.
I can't wait
recently.
to have him in here and pick his brain.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that
Yeah.
fucking goes.
Hell yeah.
For sure. Because I wonder where the fuck he's going to go with it. Obviously, he's not going to do some wild shit as I am. He's not going to have some
Hey, you never know.
bits where he goes on about heroin and hookers and
Talking
cocaine
some
and
fucking
Airbnb.
crazy shit.
Yeah. Like, I might lose followers and clients because of this, but you know what? I'm going to look
You
back
really
at this
think
and
so?
laugh. Oh, I hope.
Why would you lose clients and followers? Why do you think that?
Because men are going to expect to get a dick pic in their fucking emails, bro. They're
So
just gonna
whoever
be
you
like,
don't
nah.
send your dick.
They're going to hear that and be like, I'm out.
Or you should just set up like an auto fucking message where you just shoot out your dick.
Man,
Like anyone, whoever emailed you, just like fucking run specials.
dude, I'm going to get letters. I can't do
You
that.
should do Patreon.
Specials
No,
for dick pics?
Patreon. So there's like a little bit of a barrier of entry.
So they have to pay to see
They
it.
pay, and then they just, everyone's
was-
happy. You get to fucking put out your dick, and then they could fucking see your dick.
All right, bear with me. I've been getting a lot of like pedicures. I was thinking
Okay.
OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
Sell some feet pics every now and then, a little side dick. That way the wife can't complain, and see what comes in.
Yeah.
$2 a month.
I'm more curious to see what comes out.
It's probably exactly what you'd expect. Nothing too surprising there.
Right.
It's not like confetti, Not setting records.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not setting records, then you're just striving for mediocrity.
Well, I mean, that's for an OnlyFans. What I aim for is
I see.
less than mediocrity.
Right.
I don't want to set the standard too high.
Have you launched your OnlyFans account yet?
It's in the building right now. We have a lot of people
Okay.
in the background working on it.
Okay.
I just hired a photographer
Mm-hmm.
to be sure that we can get proper angles and lighting because, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine the workload that you're going through
Yeah.
to kind of set up and get your OnlyFans going.
Yep. The wife helps me a lot.
Okay.
She's there.
And how would you say she helps most?
Well, so they have a term in porn called fluffing.
Okay.
She is,
I know. I'm very
yeah,
aware of the
yeah.
term.
She doesn't do that.
In fact, if tattooing didn't work out for me, I always thought it would be a good alternative option for a part-time job.
Yeah. No, I mean, the hiring isn't the hard part. It's the sticking with it.
I see.
That's
Oh, okay. So you're saying there's it's like a revolving door, the
Right,
fluffing industry.
right. So if you want to have a long-term career in fluffing, I mean, a lot of the clients are like men, and you gotta be in there for the long game.
Right.
You're a woman of some engines. Yeah.
Makes good sense
Yeah.
to me.
So my wife doesn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she doesn't. So
No,
she has no
she's
part in your in
Not at
this.
all. No, she's merely actually what helps me get going, and she just talks shit to me. She just you know,
Okay. So
sits
she's
there.
almost like part of it. and
Anti-fluffing. is
She's
what we
almost a
call it.
little bit of like a distraction, but that acts as a motivation.
Right in a negative way. Yeah. Yeah. She's like
It's like a little bit like reverse
right.
psychology.
She'll,
if you
she'll
would.
say things like, "I love you.
Okay.
I've always cared for you.
Right.
We're here for you if you need anything." And that's
Right.
just
And it'll get you hard.
fucking gets me going, dude.
So how would you relate that same process that you just took me through
Mm.
to like a ritual to help you get prepared for a tattoo? So you have a 2-day client flew in from across, someone flew in from the West Coast
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
They land, they come. It's tattoo day with Mark Wade.
Yep.
You got all the fucking petals bloomed.
Well, I mean,
You're ready to be the body florist
look,
that you
man,
are.
They've sent me a form. They have everything filled out.
Okay.
Right? Legit. Like,
So there's a form on your website.
So you can click the link in my bio.
Okay.
Bam. Start filling shit out.
Got it.
We approve it. Bam. Get an email back. All right? You come on out. I've got a few photos of what I think you're going after.
Okay.
But ideally, what we're going to do is we're going to sit down and talk about what you're wanting, where you're wanting it, put something together. And then if it looks good on paper, then we start printing it out and try to put it on the area that you're wanting it tattooed. And if it looks good there, fuck yeah, we're rocking. Most of the time it doesn't.
So you build in this consultation into the first appointment. I do the same.
Yeah.
So like when you come see me, a lot of times I might have just done maybe a little research the night before, found a few photos or made a 3D design or something. But when you get there, I'm going to look at the slab of skin, what's around it.
Yep.
Say hello to you, feel out your energy. Yep. Actually, like you sent me a picture of your fucking thigh, but it's probably different than it looks because
it was actually your other thigh.
You made the other angle. You made
tribal here.
Yeah. You made some fucking camera tricks, and you know you look like you weigh 140, but you weigh 240.
Oh,
yeah, whatever.
Too.
Okay, yeah, all that stuff. So then they get there, you're like, cool, man, hello, yeah. You put an ultra flash. You looked like you were from Poland, but really you're maybe Central America skin tone.
Skin type 3.
Yeah, and it's fine and all that stuff. So now it's like, hey, hi, hello, nice to meet you. You know, it's
let's figure this shit.
Let's figure this shit out together. No stress. You're gonna spend a few hours really just putting things together. You know,
actually, I'm curious if you've had to deal with this. I've had people that are skin type 3, skin type 4.
Okay.
And I've put on lighter colors and they fucking glow. And
no.
They heal that way too.
And what I'm getting at is that I'm just saying the picture that somebody sends you on
can always
email,
be different.
It's just different.
Yeah. It's not a relevant standard. And even whenever I'm designing with somebody, I take a picture of their arm or their leg or wherever the place desired is. Right there. Because that's to me
too.
The most accurate.
So I say that to everyone I tattoo.
Yeah.
Hey, can you just pull up your sleeve real quick and stand straight and let me take a picture?
Most of the time, honestly, that photo that I asked them to send is just to like see like, is there anything in the way that I have to worry about?
And do you have like scars? And
Absolutely.
do you have like, did you get like monkeypox or something?
Yeah. We all caught that.
I know I did.
Yeah, it was rough.
So, yeah. So then, you get that picture, right? So a lot of times the first picture someone's sending you through the email is kind of more preliminary, right? Like just make sure like, you know, dude, I have people with whole sleeves tell me they want a sleeve.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, failing to mention that they have a sleeve already.
So I'm sure you get this a lot, actually. I feel like a primary amount of the emails I get are people wanting me to fix up all the flowers that they have.
Okay.
And I'm sure you get a lot of fix up work emails.
Just for anything.
Yeah. And
not flowers.
So I was talking with, I went to Evergreen recently and I was talking with Lainey B. She does fucking really cool flower shit. A lot more like realistic, I would say, than I do it. I do more paintery. And she did a tattoo on her husband's back. It was like black work and then like floral peonies underneath it. And then where the black work was, she worked over that with white and it stayed and healed fucking fantastic. And it's made me rethink the whole idea of like packing pigment over black again. And I'm like, man, I kind of want to like take these cover-ups because I've always recommended laser. I kind of want to take these cover-ups, have them try to do a couple laser sessions to pull out what we can, black that the fuck out, and then fucking try to smash another fucking flower over it. But like, it's an experiment.
It's kind of interesting too, and because I feel like why that wouldn't be a negative thing for you to do, because what the person already has there, I feel like with you touching it and spending a little time doing it, and as long as it's something you want to do, there's really no negative to come from it, because I don't think whatever you're going to do is going to make it look worse.
I hope not. But what I worry about is charging someone what we charge and then it not being what we're aiming for.
Well, maybe it's like one of those things that you do, and
as
I know
a deal or something like that.
Because you want to.
Yeah.
And I
strictly
feel
for science.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, I think you should.
I mean,
I like that you refer to it as science.
Well, I mean, for us, it is our version of like.
Well, I just like that because it indicates to me your base idea of science.
You're playing with things. I understand it. Yeah.
Experimentation.
It's probably like the most caveman fucking way you could put it, really. But yeah.
No, but I think pretty accurate. I think it makes me feel happy that you're here because you're doing scientific experiments by, like you had said, played with something.
Yeah.
And I just think that's, good to know.
You mean here like in the industry as a whole?
No, I mean like I think just the idea of defining science as a ever-growing experiment where you never actually know something to be certain because you keep putting it in question and questioning it. And then through that, you get what you deduce is the best possible thing currently. And you know that can be changed, like you said, pliable. And I'm just saying I'm happy to know someone who views science as that way. Because in the last few years, of course, we've seen people try to redefine science as something as absolute. And I never
It's not
agreed.
possible to be.
And I don't really agree with that. So,
I would have originally. So again, this last weekend, I saw that piece on her husband's back where she did that over black work. Ideally, I would have been like, nah, that doesn't work. But like seeing her do that, where it had this like, she treated white like it was variables of gray, just reversed.
Say whoa.
So if you did black and gray,
okay.
if you did black and gray but inversed it, that's how she treated white.
You did black and gray, but you inversed it.
Right. So ideally,
you put white with black mixed into it.
Not necessarily. You would feather out white, and then where you wanted the white more concentrated, that's where you do it solid. So black and gray would be the opposite of that.
Wait, black and gray with white only? Watered down white?
The skin was blacked out.
Oh, and then someone whips out white.
I'm saying this terribly.
Who did this? Who did
Lainey did it on her husband.
Oh, but it had to heal.
It healed fucking good.
Long term?
I mean, it's been a couple of years. It's been like 3 years, and it's still
And you see gradients?
Yes. In the white, on the black.
But let me say this. Is it something that looks so good that you would do from the jump? Or does it look like something you would do to salvage a hot mess?
It looks like layers. It looks like something I want to experiment with. That's all I can say.
But because you're giving a bad circumstance?
Probably.
This is my question.
I mean, it just makes it looks like something that if there is a bad circumstances, you can introduce it into it to allow you to have some freedoms that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But is it something where you'd black out someone's arm and say, then come back and I'm going to gradient white over it?
It makes me want to try it.
No. I mean,
would I want to do that initially?
I'm saying you get an email.
Yep.
Some good looking young person, some fucking chick.
Definitely a dude.
You just want to show off your dick.
Well, we got to start somewhere.
Right.
On the dick
some
topic,
fucking pristine fucking.
Hold on.
Okay,
I got to take a piss.
Okay. Well, let's pause it up and do that piss now, boy.
Thank you. That was a good piss break. Yeah. Sorry, man. We were on a roll there, but I was like,
nah, fuck no.
Dude, I was
hell yeah.
fiending out.
Sometimes you just got to piss.
Yeah. Like heroin.
I don't even know what we're saying.
All right.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to cut the scene. You ready for another one?
I'm ready.
We're going to rock the Van Winkle, my dude.
You've been fucking rocking it. I'm going to steal one of these waters from down below.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
There's like all these cans laying around. People can tell we're seasoned.
We're like fucking junkies hanging out here.
Well,
drinking, smoking, eating.
Drinking.
It's got that fucking... my most rare bottle, the Van Winkle.
You think it'll?
But now I feel like after you had those other ones, when you drink this one,
taste better.
I'm telling you, it is.
It's gonna be like.
The problem is it's lower proof, but you're gonna realize like the complexity of that.
I'm always afraid when I do that like swing.
You're gonna spill it out.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to waste this shit. Nah.
I think that's the problem. A little fear.
Cheers, bro.
When you're afraid to spill it out is when you will.
God bless you.
Because then you're not gonna do it.
I hope this goes fucking well.
Check it out. Yeah, this is a good one, man.
God, that's smooth.
The Buffalo Trace, anything from Buffalo Trace has like a distinct back taste. Because you had the George T. Stagg.
Yeah.
And the Handy. Oh, that was the rye we had, I think, right? Was it that George? The WLW, the William LaRue, whatever.
I don't know.
Me and you've been drinking all the Buffalo Trace antique collections. But so this is that, but it's a little bit under it, I think. But it's still hard to get.
For those of you at home, drink Buffalo Trace.
Well, this one's hard to find here. This is the Van Winkle.
Yeah.
It's not Pappy Van Winkle, but it's the...
What a good moment, though. Like, you're like relighting up the podcast.
Yeah,
Things are going fucking,
we're drinking fucking Van Winkle.
The Van Winkletons are just right here in our mouths.
I mean...
It's a weird way to say that. Sorry.
This is the 12-year Lot B. I don't know. It's one of the more rare ones I have at home. And what a better time to crack it, right?
At least nobody on Reddit can be mad about you not drinking it now.
Bro, those like fucking Reddit-ass bitches, bro. They're always talking about all kinds of shit like that. Like, I posted up a couple bottles of the bourbon I had, and they're like, when are you going to open it, pussy?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I just got it today. And I try not to engage with like fucking social media comments and like shit.
You don't
like
enjoy it?
No.
I get a real kick out of it.
But I mean, sometimes you like, so long story short, with these fucking Reddit people, they were like, criticizing, like, why do you have bourbon that's not open, and blah, blah, blah. And I like snapped back to a guy and I was like, well, I already have like 100 open bottles, and he's like, oh, I'm sure you do, you fucking bitch. Like the guy wrote that to me and he's like, based on the background of your photo, looks like you live in low income housing and you couldn't afford it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
it's called Section 8, way to be insensitive.
And then it ends up by like somebody telling you like, bro, like, I hope your family dies of cancer, bro. Like, I'm saying this is where these internet things end up.
That was the first place you went to?
No, it wasn't the first place he went to. He told me I was poor because he saw the backdrop of my wall, which was, by the way, just a white sheetrock wall. And meanwhile, I have like a bunch of bourbons that he doesn't have in the photo. The moral of the story was that this is just haters, bruh.
It's so fucked up that he's like,
people be getting like that.
You're
man.
Poor, and I hope your family dies of cancer.
It's kind of like honorable, honestly. It's like, it takes balls. Like, I could appreciate people, because if there was nobody like that in the world, then there would just be nobody like that.
So you're saying we need bullying?
Well, now that you bring that up, I am a firm believer in bullying. I'm not even kidding.
So do you bully kids on purpose, or
no,
is that like
I never bullied anyone.
Well, then
in
you're not
fact,
a firm believer.
In my grammar school, I actually got called down to the guidance counselor's office one
for
time.
not bullying enough?
No, for sticking up for a kid getting bullied.
See, I don't. That makes me question your idea of being a firm believer.
No. This was before virtue signaling existed, dog.
What does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean?
What is virtue signaling?
You don't know what virtue signaling is?
I'm not an intelligent man.
Virtue signaling is something, I mean, I guess you could see it everywhere around you. Virtue signaling is when somebody pretends to be virtuous about like a social issue, but you could tell that they're actually the biggest perpetrators of that because they're doing it from a position of ego to be like, hey, look at me. I'm fucking so good. I'm staying in my house and I'm protecting everyone of COVID.
Yeah.
I'm staying in my house. Yeah. I'm staying in my house.
Yeah. And we're outside.
Yeah, I was outside. They could suck on my dick, virtue signaling bitch.
But then they would. Well, I guess if you went in their house.
I should have went in their house. I got in their house because I lived rent free in their head by having fun.
That was an interesting time to live through.
Real interesting time. Yeah. I'm actually kind of glad. I mean, it was like I guess it's like a bookmark in time, right? We've had things like this before. 9/11, Vietnam War, right? COVID.
Well, like, you know what it was?
It's not new.
Like, were you out here for the, I don't think you were, for the snowpocalypse whenever that first hit Austin? Mm-mm. It reminded me of
Would have been like a Tuesday in the Northeast during the winter.
It was actually kind of
By the way, this is good.
This is fucking nice.
Doesn't it taste like peaches?
I'm trying not to drink it too fast because it's so drinkable.
It almost tastes like peaches.
I'm not getting the peaches.
I'm getting peach rings.
Maybe
in the taste, not the smell.
I've had probably too many drinks now.
No, not in the taste, the smell. I mean, not the smell, the taste.
Opposite, yeah.
Like an aftertaste.
Yeah, I can see that.
You see it?
Yeah, there's peaches in that. And caramel. Definitely caramel.
Well, I feel like that caramel.
Maybe it's that sugary that I'm getting at.
But you kind of get that in like a lot of bourbons, caramel.
Yeah. Yeah, with some woody flavors. I bet definitely a lot of woody flavors in the aftertaste. Back to being in people's heads.
Oh, it's good.
It's fucking good.
Oh, back to being in people's heads.
Yeah. So I actually didn't know where I was going to go with that.
It's okay.
But COVID all aside.
No pressure.
Very fucking interesting time to have lived through. And
to say the least.
How people were going to behave in a catastrophe. You know, and that's what I was getting on. So in Austin, we had the snowpocalypse, and that was shortly after COVID. I think it was 2021.
Oh, right.
Winter of 2021. And what I liked the most about COVID is if you went into a grocery store, you could feel this tension in the air. Like everybody was just ready on a hair string.
Well, I almost felt that tension throughout all of society.
I loved it.
And it kind of see, it's interesting how we all reacted different to that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like it. Actually, it almost hindered my artistic creation.
No shit.
Yeah, because I don't like that I have to feel that way, which made me almost kind of get introspective about myself.
Maybe that's why you kind of built this the way you did. It's like it's very much your space, in your control because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
I moved to a suburb of Austin.
Yep.
I have a little space in the corner.
So you're away from it if you need to be. But you are still in it enough to get the energy from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm in a city that's like hot and happening.
Absolutely.
But a little bit tame.
But that's with that winter. That same thing came back through COVID. Where I was in a grocery store And it was like, we all know the snow is going to melt in at least 7 days. And y'all are buying fucking hams and hamburger and bread like it's not going to be here for fucking weeks.
Yeah.
And there's this tension you can feel in the air that's like electric. And I'm like, fire the fuck up about it. Because it's just people sitting there like nervous and freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this feels like good, you know, to see people on that like edge of like on a hair's trigger. They're just going to like fucking freak the fuck out over shit that like doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter.
It's kind of good, I guess, in a way, because it lets you see where you stand if shit were to hit the fan and go south.
I don't know if I stood in a good place there. Like I was like excited about
but it was
fucking
like,
shit going nuts.
But it was like a dry run. That's what I'm trying to say.
It definitely felt like
that.
But
so I guess my question for you would be, have you made any further advances since you felt like you weren't in a good place during those times, now going forward if something were to happen like that or more extreme again? Like the brink of World War III that we might even be on.
So I took the AQ test and found out that I lie on the spectrum, right?
Is that for real?
Yeah. And I took the test.
I mean, you just told me you were addicted to heroin, and you're not.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You told me 2-3 other jokes.
This actually is legit.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
so you took a test. You are autistic.
Right on the fucking edge.
So which side of the edge? That's a pretty big.
Well, I'd actually need to physically get tested to determine that. Like,
but you just said you took a test.
So
was it not a physical test?
It was online. So like anybody can take it.
So there's a deeper test.
Right. So the deeper you're into the number, the more likely it is that it's probable.
Okay.
But like the answer was like 26 or 24, and I was like right at that number or just before it, and I was like, so like it makes sense why like I've kind of been like socially awkward or like not fit into society so well in the ways that I would think that other people would, right?
That's interesting actually, because sometimes my wife makes friends with like people she has in the past, and I would think that, and it's potentially true, but she just sees them, as they are.
Yeah.
And I never thought of you as autistic.
I didn't either, but Maya took it, and she landed fucking heavier in the number than I did, and I was like, oh, this is why we get along. We're both like.
You think that like most people are just autistic? I'm sure there's just something.
I think there's a wider variety of it than we actually anticipate.
I see.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of the people that are tattoo artists
might even be.
Oh. More probable than not that they are.
Yeah, I guess it makes really good sense.
Because we don't typically fit into the standard system. So it makes sense for us to kind of make our own system.
So you're saying many artistic people kind of pave their way, I should say autistic people pave their way, or borderline.
I think they have to figure it out. They have to make their own system to make themselves work in what we consider normal.
Yeah.
And so like typically you're setting
So then what the fuck am I? I'm afraid to take this test.
Don't take it.
Sometimes I wake up at 4 p.m.
You don't do it.
But I'm not undisciplined, but I am.
Dude, I could say the same for myself.
Because I'm very disciplined. You don't start this, open up a place to work, paint, tattoo people, build clientele, and kind of make a little bit of notoriety for yourself.
And consider yourself undisciplined. No way.
But yet, I could sleep until 4 p.m. and stay up till 6 a.m. and do weird shit, and then get addicted to a video game for 5 weeks and then quit again.
I really don't understand how you introduced that as well. That to me, I haven't been able to find time
I'm not doing it now.
No?
No.
Because that to me is like...
I replaced video gaming with painting.
That I did the same fucking thing.
And I did it, and now this.
I allow 4 to 6 hours on Sundays with my best friend. That's it. That's like anything more than that, I feel like I'm sacrificing from the whole.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, I agree. It's hard to find time.
It is. What the fuck got me on about that?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
But that's what it was. I was going to say is like, I don't think I'm already sitting right mentally anyway. And I was talking about the 2021 winter apocalypse with my wife and her family.
Sure. So you were here.
I was out here. We went through that.
So you're living with your wife and her family.
Right now we are. We're staying out here with
No, but you were there during the winter apocalypse as well.
We just moved in with them because she was going through some stuff with her medical stuff.
Okay.
And so we were living through that. And
so you're here 2021, Austin snowpocalypse.
Went through the winter apocalypse.
Right.
were revisiting that discussion about it recently when I came back out here in January, and I was like, man, that was a good fucking time. Like we were like doing whatever the fuck we had to do to survive. Like we're like driving to places to get fucking propane so we had heat, and like pulled the fucking oven into the house so that we could like light up and not be fucking freezing to death. And they're like, yeah, no, that wasn't a good time. I'm like, what? Yeah, none of us had a good time. None of us would ever want to relive that again. I was like, you guys didn't enjoy that?
For you, you were like
I had a
camping.
great fucking time. I was
You were like camping.
not just camping, but like experiencing life. I was like, this is fucking real.
But what do
Like,
you think attributes to that? You think that there's something in you that when there's not some form of tragedy to kind of like hold you down a little bit?
I just think it put more of a...
No, do you feel like it opened up like more space for you to just be with yourself? Like, do you feel like there's something lacking when there's not tragedy that made you enjoy that time? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I think it made people be more genuine. I think it forced people to realize what's
Do you think it
more
made
real.
you more genuine and real, or do you think it was what you were yearning for and those around you?
Maybe actually it is more for myself, me realizing what is more important. But like from my perspective, it made me think like, hey man, that was a hard time and we made it through it.
Right.
That was really cool that we made it through it.
So you like the challenge.
Yeah.
Right. But kind of tie it back to what I was saying before about starting this podcast is that I guess you can say that that's the same for me, but for like getting into like figuring out how to control the audio quality,
Yeah.
or setting up multi-camera videos and
But I
then
don't think you
editing
could
it.
sit still. I don't think you
But I
could-
think that might be the same for
might be.
that situation.
Yeah,
You just had a new thing to tackle.
yeah, it was just like, oh fuck, well we got to figure this out because this is like,
Yeah.
if we don't.
So is it so much exactly that? And I'm asking this question genuinely, and either answer just tells me something different. But is it that you like specifically figuring out these survival tactics, or do you feel like it's that you just like the idea of figuring out something? You get what I mean?
I think I'm addicted to both.
Oh, so that might be totally in alignment.
It might be
That was like a
completely-
dual alignment.
Yeah.
It's like you like figuring things out and conquering
Like I'm already addicted to figuring things out.
and
I already
conquering
like
something
learning.
and understanding it
And
and
the
learning
fact
it.
that the stakes were really high, that's tattooing 101.
Right.
It's permanent fucking art.
But you like the survival stuff? Because I know you mentioned to me before in the past that you were considering like some kind of law enforcement. It seemed like you did this MDK
Yeah.
project, which was like a boot camp or whatever.
The only reason I got
you
into
like military stuff or something a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
So what I mean is, did you like the idea that maybe you're the type of person who is drawn to like some kind of like survivalist outdoors,
The only reason I ever liked military stuff,
militant?
that was the only reason I ever liked that was just the idea of learning the information to be able to endure. And when it came down to like, to relate this back to tattooing, what I like about tattooing is it's such a high cost to reward ratio. Like if you beat the skin up, you're done. Like there's only so much you can do.
There's no going back.
There's no going back.
You just dig a hole.
Yep. And so I like that there's like this like, excuse me. I like that the stakes are high. I think that's the part that was addicting for me, was like, it's like,
For
man,
sure.
I got to get it right. And my client's in pain. And I've only got so much time to fucking figure this out. And man, the skin's not fucking behaving the way I want it to behave.
Yeah, and it's bleeding.
And it's bleeding a ton.
And I think my client just farted.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Right.
Or was that me? Anyway, the point is still like, it
But
kind
for
of fits with this paradigm that we're going with. But the other thing was like, all right, you're just increasing the stakes of the risk.
Right.
And then making it through that is like, man, yeah. So like if you do a successful tattoo, a lot of things got to come together in life. Good client, good skin, cooperating and effective communication.
Right.
And then being able to endure the pain.
Man, it almost makes me feel like if making art was like being in the military, being a tattoo artist is like being like a Navy SEAL.
Well, I feel like we definitely picked a more hardcore version of art.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're like the fucking Green Beret of art.
Well, I would say the same for all of us, right? Like
Yeah.
we're all trying to pick some, I mean, there's definitely like looser and sloppier versions of the fucking niches, but like I think for us it's like, hey man, if you did a portrait, you know you did the portrait wrong. You know, like if you fucked part of it, you know.
We're
you
like
know?
in the trenches.
You think we're giving ourselves too much credit?
No.
I feel like
I think it's hard. Fuck that shit. Tattooing is some difficult shit, man.
Man, you know what? Sometimes I don't think it's hard. I just think like, sometimes I think it's like,
Sometimes I think it's easy as fuck.
sometimes I do, but then I look at other people and I'm like, man, it's clearly not. Like I'm clearly just biased.
it's a little bit less hard for you and I.
Is it though? Like, are we just used to doing it?
No, yeah, but this is what I was getting at. It's a little less hard for you and I because it's something we do all the time, like lifting weights for like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like being Michael Jordan is very hard, right?
Yeah, but he does it all the time.
But not for Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So this is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I feel like it would make a lot of sense to say, that's why I compared it to like the Navy SEALs or something compared to like an infantryman. Like, not to say being an infantryman is a hard job or not a nobly great job.
It definitely is.
I'm just saying is that there's a force a little bit more elite.
Well, there's yeah. So,
But I shouldn't say tattooers are more elite. I don't even mean it like that. I mean it like in the sense that it's a little more extreme, dude. Well, it's like playing Call of Duty on hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the
like
part I struggle with like
you ain't got no HUD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're like, you know, if you jank a line, you can't just paint over it.
You're done.
Yeah. So I'm painting is crazy,
Yeah.
and I even think that the ceiling is higher.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, just
your capabilities are higher.
Higher.
But like
if you're a painter and you're sick at painting, to me you're like a rock star.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I've talked to a lot of painters who feel the opposite. I've talked to a lot of painters who are
because the thing about tattooing, man, is that if you put it's permanent.
It is. But
Yeah.
how many artists I've talked to that are painters that are like, they've sold a painting for $100,000, and they're like, man, I wish I was a tattoo artist. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You sold a painting for fucking $100,000. They're like, yeah, but that's not every day.
Right.
I'm like,
I feel like artists are like bartenders and tattoo artists are like bartenders at strip clubs.
you might be right.
You know what I mean?
That might be the closest.
Like, it's just like a wilder version.
It is
for
wild.
example, like artists and painters are like fucking German shepherds, and tattooers are like wolves. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. There's definitely some kind of like, I don't know. You gotta be. I don't know, man. Because there's part of me too that thinks that like
it's like dark
true
magic.
artists though, like real, like just painters, are allowed to be like reclusive and just go fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's why I said that we're like. That's why I feel like tattoo artists are a little bizarre.
But I wish as a
Because
tattoo
being
artist, I could do
reclusive
that.
to me sounds great.
Sometimes it does. Like I wish I was allowed to like explore that depth of my mind. But
I
like,
just
I
have
got
to.
bills.
I
got
have
shit
to have a
take care of.
collaboration every time I make a piece of art.
Yeah.
With someone who knows nothing about art.
Or like even if you start factoring in that that flow state, sometimes that flow state doesn't give as much back to you as you need out of it. You know. So you're
Another
just like,
thing,
fuck.
and another thing you need to imagine is that even when someone purchases a piece of art, it's being displayed in somewhere like their living room or
Next to their couch. Yep.
yeah. But now when someone decides to get a tattoo from you,
It's with them everywhere.
they might be looking at it next to their fucking labia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine I got a tattoo from you next to my fucking nutsack.
I mean, I look at my tattoos next to my labia all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could imagine.
Do you want to?
So, I mean,
Good segue.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a very different fucking field.
But yeah, so it's like you're dealing with someone looking at a tattoo on their skin for life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they're not an artist
To
they
me-
know nothing about art.
to me-
And you've been spending the last 10 years grinding out, learning art.
Yeah.
And now you're being directed by someone who knows nothing about art. They sit in a fucking cubicle
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
And now they're saying to you, no,
But I like
I don't
that
like
part.
that green.
Because to me, that's where it becomes like.
Yeah, but a Navy SEAL likes breaching a building when it's a C4 and an MP5.
But see, the difference is,
You know
like
what I'm
a
saying?
Navy SEAL is taught specifically just to do that.
Yours is even more variable.
to certain degrees.
But actually, some military guys I tattooed were explaining to me that a lot of special forces people actually do like training that's more variable
I would imagine
because you have to be adaptive.
Absolutely.
This is why you're just proving to me that my analogy is good
Yeah, maybe so.
because it's so variable.
There's a lot of variables, and that's actually the part.
You're
that's
like a
most fitting.
special forces artist.
Yeah, but I can't take credit for fucking the shit they fucking.
I'm
do.
not
Those
saying
guys are
you.
fucking
I'm saying
nuts.
anyone who did it,
Yeah,
but specifically you.
but like specifically not. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not me. Yeah,
No, but you.
but not.
Because you got to think about it like.
That's the parts we're addicted to. The parts
Yeah.
we're addicted to are the challenge.
Right.
And we also are addicted to
exactly.
the fact that it keeps changing.
Bro, we work in an ever-changing environment.
That's
Sometimes
what makes it
I
fun.
think I got it all carved out, and here comes little Kimmy walking
Bro.
through the door and was like, "Yo, son, I want to put a ribbon through." And you're like, "Bro, but I don't tattoo ribbons."
Now you're doing it.
But then she's like, "But I want a ribbon."
Yeah.
And you're like, "But I don't do ribbons." And she's like, "But I'm already here, and I just flew here." And you're like, "But yeah, but I don't want to do ribbons." And she's like, "But." And then you're like, wait a minute, I'm going on vacation in 2 days and I can't not work today.
Yeah.
And you're like, I guess I'm going to figure out ribbons.
We have a rule in our books that
I know.
anyone named Kimmy we don't tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just real bad, like
You have bad experience
bad
with
experiences, specifically with people named Kim.
it? Okay.
They just kept pissing all over the place.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You had multiple experiences?
Yeah, just peeing in the lobby.
For real? Man, you're getting me.
Good.
But I actually think that that's true, maybe.
No, it never happens.
It's not? Never?
No. I'm just fucking talking shit.
You chug this shit?
I mean, honestly, it was like way too drinkable, and I had to like start pounding water because it felt like way too good.
Like you got a little bit drunk,
Oh
maybe?
my god, yeah.
Hell
This
yeah.
whole like last 15 minutes at least.
Yeah?
Dude, it's already almost 10. Damn.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's 9:53.
We've been hanging out here for a little
We've
while.
been talking some shit.
Yeah.
This has been good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
No, honestly, man.
I feel bad I never even introduced you.
Oh, don't worry about
Do
it.
we need to?
Nope.
No, because I was saying
No.
before you're like the famous
no, I
Mark
introduced
Wade.
myself as Bobby Cupparo.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a good idea.
It is. If we're both Bobby Cupparo, they'll never know what the fuck's going on.
It's kind of cool.
It is.
Might help out my business.
I don't think so.
No?
I've been saying some wild shit. Not too wild.
Hell yeah, dude.
How's that not fucking with you anymore?
What's that?
The whole THC shit.
I don't know. I just woke up one day and I was able to hit that shit.
And it was good.
Good.
I don't understand that.
Me, I have no idea. I've been trying to figure it out for a long time.
Do you hit it commonly or is it
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
But I used to be a point in my life, if I even looked at this thing, I
Done.
would get paranoid.
Man,
I woke up one day and was able to smoke this whole thing and done nothing.
well, we were in a
You know what
Bourbon.
it is, man? A microdosing.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I want to take
And the diet.
well, at some point that might factor into it a lot too. I want to take DMT at some point.
Okay.
But that shit sounds terrifying at the same time.
Have you ever done any form of
Nothing.
psychedelics like that?
Nothing at all.
I haven't, but I do the microdosing.
I'm just afraid that I'll like do it and then like all of a sudden I'm drawing mushrooms on every flower or something like that. And, you know, and
It could happen.
I don't want my art to turn into that.
But you shouldn't want your art to be or not be anything. You should just let it be.
Look, you might be right, but
I think I am right.
I don't.
So if you were the type of person to all of a sudden start adding mushrooms to everything you did because you had such a profound life-changing experience potentially on mushrooms, then you would be in alignment with something you believed in and agreed with. So then you would attract people who also feel that way.
Potentially,
And
but
then
the
you-
part that I worry about is that a lot of the people that I see that do that
Don't have money.
No. It's not the money part that I'm so worried about.
I'm just kidding.
That is funny. But the point that I'm worried about is that like that's never first of all, I've never had any personal association with it.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, I feel like it's cliche. I feel like everybody that does it, I'm gonna start drawing fucking mushrooms, man. It's like, dude, we get it. You did mushrooms once in the park, you saw some cool shit.
Could be.
And you changed your whole fucking life.
Could be.
I don't want to fucking be that
Or
guy.
maybe there's something they know that you don't.
Probably fucking so. But I don't want to fucking be like everybody that fucking knows something I don't.
Oh.
That part fucking like that also is like a deterrent.
Do you know a lot of people like that now?
I feel like a lot of the people that I've met that have done something to that degree can link themselves to that manner.
Right.
And that makes me nervous.
Okay. But what if they just know something beautiful?
There's no doubt about that. I can't experience everything that everyone's experienced.
Sure.
But like the part that bothers me is that I don't want to just take who I am as an individual, link myself into a group and lose my individuality off of something that
Right.
I don't feel personally connected to with now.
Makes sense.
So I guess I'm scared of losing myself in that.
But you wonder because there's a lot of people who tattoo, and like, for example, I would meet them and there's individuals within the industry and hopefully I like to consider myself maybe somewhere along those lines. But I could also go to a tattoo convention and meet many people who kind of attach themselves to the
Yeah.
maybe the idea and the notion.
I think the problem is that with your artwork, I see where it fits in. With mine, I don't. I see where.
What do you mean by that?
Well, with your artwork, I can see where that kind of style fits in. Like I can see how you've used it, and it makes sense to me. With flowers, I don't see where that fits in. Like for flowers, I've struggled to see where that can kind of take hold and take some sort of root to make it organic and make it fit into what the fuck I'm already doing.
Oh,
I
something.
can't find a space for it.
Oh, you mean okay? You're saying you see where something like mushroom imagery or something like along those lines, would fit in
to what I'm already doing and what I love doing.
Okay,
and it doesn't fit in with who I exist as.
But
now.
to bring this back to the, I think maybe the conversation we had earlier about gentrification, right? Did we talk about that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like the same kind of thing, right? Like sometimes you need to flush away things a little bit to like let new things come in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is what we're talking about too with like fine artists. Is like fine artists are allowed to be reclusive. Fine artists are allowed to fucking dig into the depths of hell because they have the
or
time
even
to.
Experiment.
Yeah, and do shit that like no one likes. Do shit that like everyone that's been like a part of what made you get to where you're at wants nothing to do with.
Right.
And as an artist, it's like, actually, that's alluring. But like, being that I have a family to take care of,
Yeah.
it's like,
And also just being a tattoo artist because you're working on something permanent.
yeah,
So it's a little harder, you're saying, to like just try adding something like.
wild, completely left field.
Yeah, but I don't know when you say wild and left field.
It's not too far away. I understand.
But nobody's really like, even my work could potentially be viewed as a little bit more wild and left field maybe than say yours, but it's really not, because beauty's kind of in the eye of the beholder, because it's like more just in the same confines you're working with, but more for what the person who contacted me asked for, if that makes any sense.
Well, I think if I'm understanding it right, it's something to the degree of like, it'll make more sense to you when it's applied.
No, meaning like somebody contacted me before and said, I want this, and then me putting something like what we consider maybe a little more wild or bright or something into my work is only just like a tiny smidget over the line of what they already asked for.
Oh, so you're not straying too far from the path anyway and just adding.
Yeah, so it'd be the same thing as you straying a little from your path, but meaning like what they originally asked me for was like not far from where I strayed.
You've done.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Not really, no.
But so with the little bit that you have done, do you feel like that's altered who you are as a person?
Yes, because I've done the microdosing,
but
small doses
never
every day.
crazy.
No, never.
Okay.
And since I did that, I moved across country, opened a tattoo studio, started a podcast, and didn't give a fuck.
So do you feel like that was due to the microdosing, or do you feel like that was?
I do.
Were you?
I think that's where it comes from.
Do you think you're able to clearly hear what your intuition was saying?
No.
What made you follow that?
I think that it carved physical new brain pathways in my brain and made me more confident and strong in decision making. And when you make strong, confident decisions, you essentially, to go back one step further, you're essentially building yourself up a little bit and getting more confident in decision makings. And in doing so, everything you need to do is a little more clear. So you don't waste. It's really comes down to budgeting your energy.
Do you think without psychedelics you would have made the decisions you made?
I don't know. But I do know that since I started microdosing psilocybin, that I would make stronger, clear, concise decisions about things. And I don't even know that it was so much so the decision that I made. I think it was that I just made one and stuck to it. I think where we lose hope or
Did
waste
you have faith or confidence?
confidence.
Okay.
But and faith, aren't they synonymous, you would say? A little bit?
To certain degrees, but like you can be like, I don't know, faith can be there, I think, to a degree whenever nothing else seems like it's working. So you're just like,
okay,
I know this is the right choice.
No, but it was working. I never felt like I lost hope. I'm just saying that I would make each decision like, hey, should I move or should I stay in New Jersey? Right? So let's start there.
Yeah.
Okay. Should I stay in New Jersey or should I move to Texas where I wanted to move?
Yeah.
In the past, I may have spent time wrestling this idea. And in doing so, I wasted time and energy.
Yeah.
Now,
a lot of time and a lot of energy.
And then by the time you go to do the next thing,
you've already spent so much.
You've already spent so much energy. You're entering the next decision with less energy.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is what I believe this did to me was made me more concise and firm and confident in that choice, which whatever choice I made, whether I went A or B, I didn't waste the time building up to it so that when I entered that choice, I entered it rested. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah.
So then I feel like in doing that.
How did you know to keep doing that? Like, was it just your first initial experience of microdosing that you're like, I liked that response and that confidence that I approached the problem with, and I'm going to keep doing that?
I actually feel like it just comes from like a gut feeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, that's faith.
That's faith?
Yeah, for me.
Okay.
For me, the gut feeling has always been, I've always known what I shouldn't do. And there's been very few times in my life where something's told me what to do. And that's been the gut feeling. It's like, I need to go do this. I don't know why. Yeah. But I need to go do it.
Okay. So that's just how you're defining it, and that's how you experience it. You're saying
that's been my
experience. You've had the same experience I've had.
Yeah, without microdosing. That's been my experience with
and I've
faith.
had it before that too. Yeah. I'm just saying at this point in my life. And that's how I got into like tattooing and stuff in general.
I will say my confidence has been shaken whenever I do approach those things like, all right, it told me I need to do it. Whatever the fuck God or it is. Told me I need to go this way.
Right.
And I'll be going that way and it's like, damn, this seems a lot fucking harder than it's supposed to be. You know? So there's times where I'm like, did I hear that? Or am I like just going the way that I think I should go?
What's the difference?
One feels outside of myself.
Okay.
And the other feels egotistical.
Bingo.
So it's difficult to determine the difference for myself.
And to me, that's life, baby.
Amen. Maybe you're really right about that.
Man. But actually, no, I mean, you bring up a really good point. And sorry to laugh.
No, but it is like, it gets ridiculous.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's like, are you, but I think you just described the true being and the ego. I mean, I really do think you did.
Because those voices are so close. It's so hard for me to determine, like, was that me?
And then it's like, you start asking, which do you trust?
Well, when it tells me not to do something, it's very clear. I know that's not ego. Every single fucking time.
But you haven't learned that for the reward side. Right. You only learned it for the negative side.
Right. Because
So what if you trusted the side that's telling you what to do the same as the one that's telling you what not to do?
Sometimes it's difficult to hear if there's anything at all. Whenever it's telling me what not to do, I know exactly when it's telling me something.
And maybe I can learn something from this too, but I want to ask you, what do you think you can do to get better at hearing that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to know. That's what I'm asking.
Man.
The day you have the answer, please tell me.
I'm trying. Well, Bobby, why do you think I'm getting out there doing wild shit? You know, that's why I did MDK. That's why I fucking
hell yeah, man.
Try to do the fucking endurance events that I do. That's why I'm like trying to push myself is like, all right, well, maybe I can force the voice to tell me where to go. Maybe I can get out there and suffer.
Yeah.
And find it. And there's been moments, I swear to fuck, there's been moments where it's like, oh, I hear you clear as day.
Yeah.
And it's always when I'm 20 miles deep in a ruck.
Hell yeah. Dude.
You know? It's always when I've been like fucking grueling through suffering that it's like, man, like, all right, I hear you now. You know?
Yeah.
And like, I just got to stay steady. Or like, all right, this makes sense, you know?
And I like that you say that too, because that's like why I feel like we're sitting here right now talking like a couple wanksters into microphones with headphones on, because I feel that way too.
Yeah.
I guess like I might have said this to you before, and it might have even been before we got on the fucking microphones and stuff, but just coming to work every day and doing a tattoo and people saying, yeah, that's good, man. Like,
it doesn't feel it. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Cool.
Yeah.
You know? But it's like, I feel like there's more for me.
Yeah.
And even if it's just talking to you, you know what I mean? That, for me, almost does that.
Well, I mean, that's why I fucking came out to hang out. Like, not just the podcast.
That's cool shit, dude.
I would have been cool with, like, just coming out. I'm happy you're doing this again. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I would have been happy with just coming out and spending time with fucking Bobby.
That's cool shit. That I actually, that was fucking dope. That was like what you were saying. Yeah.
I mean, that's the most frustrating part about it. Is like, all right, so I got to throw a line out. Well, how do I get the fucking bite? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I got to keep banging my fucking head against the wall till I get something. And maybe
that is the bite.
Maybe that's the bite, but then maybe it's also like when I get that bite, it's like, dude, can you chill the fuck out? Like, just chill. Like, you're good. I
think that's like an art in itself, like dealing with the ebbs and flows.
Well, the problem is divinity.
Mm-hmm.
Divinity doesn't pay attention to timing, and that's been the part that I've been wrestling.
When you
with
say
the most.
divinity, what exactly do you mean? Like, what is divinity? Like, I think I know what it means.
That's the
like,
elusive part about it that I'm trying to figure out is like,
okay.
So it seems
I'm
like,
just trying to understand.
I'll put it to you this way. For the last 4 to 6 months, I felt like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
You have.
But it sure would have been nice if it happened yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
A little bit.
I feel like I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. And I feel like everything I ever wanted and everything I'm aiming for is coming. But it sure would have been nice if it happened yesterday.
Okay.
Because there's no relevation with time. Divinity does not care about tomorrow or yesterday because it's right now. And for me to be like, all right, I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I just got to let it be, fuck, man, that kills me as like an analytical person.
Sure. Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
No, I mean, I agree because I couldn't feel more in alignment with where I'm at now personally
like it
myself.
Feels right. Right now, I'm like, man, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be doing this. I feel like when I wake up every morning, I'm fired the fuck up. I'm like, I'm excited for fucking life.
Yeah.
And
even when it's hard.
Even when, oh, fuck, man, even more.
Me too. Yeah, that's how I've been feeling, dude.
Yeah.
Is this just like where the age we're hitting?
Either that or we're like literally retarded. You know what I mean?
It's probably a bunch of it all.
I'm willing to accept that, man. Like,
because I don't know. I feel like that way too, kind of like I feel like not petty anymore that much.
No, if anything,
I have like some moments where it tries to grip me a little bit.
Yeah, but then
but it's not real.
Dude,
I think the last time I felt like that, I think you saw me do that, but it's not real.
Yeah, like
it's just like it's like the ego trying to hold you back again.
Well, it's like you figure it out, and then once you figure it out, it's like
you just go. You just
that was a good time.
No. Whenever something's wrong for me, like it doesn't feel wrong, I laugh at it now because I know just not to tread that way.
Yeah,
like even if it's just an interaction with somebody, and I like kind of like went the wrong way, or maybe let my energy down a little bit and came off as like weaker, and then they did something, and then it's like, wait, next time I could just simply go, no, I'm not interested or something. And then you're like, whoa, I just cut that out of my life. And that's no more energy I need to deal with now.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so easy to get caught up in shit like that too. I mean, I do that. I feel like every fucking time I go out, every time I wake up, I feel like there are things that I definitely put energy into that it's not necessary.
Yeah. And I think that's what I was saying before. I think it's like having energy is like having a stack of cash. And you can only spend so much of it everywhere.
Yeah,
and I think that's just like a law of everything, right? If you have a stockpile of food, right, the more you eat, the less you have.
Yeah.
Right. If you have water, same would be the same.
So are you trying to ration it so that you have more?
Like I'm just saying, you only have so much available.
Yeah.
And the availability can vary, I guess, depending on other factors, right? But like if you just dump all, so think about this: you have $100, right? Think of your energy as $100. Let's use 100 to be round.
Yeah.
If every time you spent thinking of something dumb and little, you're giving $1 or $2 away.
Yeah.
You just like wasting dollars. You drive to work, you throwing dollars out the window.
You're getting angry at something. There's $1.
There's $1.
Somebody cuts you off. There's another fucking $1.
There's $3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, then it's like you got to get off an exit. A guy tries to wash your fucking newly waxed car with a fucking piss bucket.
Man, they're fucking.
That's what I'm saying. So okay, there's $5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you get to work, you're already at fucking, what do you got?
Negative 15, something like that.
You got $85.
Yeah.
But what if you cut that out?
Yeah. So what you're saying is investing that money into things that only get back.
Right.
Or the things that only directly fit with the direction that fits your end goal.
Yes. And really, it's not to say, so here's where I think people go wrong and they spend more money. I think that they spend money investing into trying to negate or counteract that 15 by being ultra positive. And I think that by that, you're actually spending 50.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Well, it does, because you can be
equally as draining to spend time and energy falsely.
You're actually spending more.
Yeah, that's what
You're
I'm telling
spending
you.
more money on the negative to
By-
try and not pay attention to it.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then it's like, what do you have to do to get to the point to recognize these things in reality that you should be negative? Accept them, let them in, let them process through you, let them go, but without them using your energy.
But I mean, to wash stuff off is like to wash off a negative environment, to wash off a negative engagement. All right. I don't think most people can do that. I know I can't. If I'm
talking about recognizing it, processing it, but not letting it eat your energy.
But that's the part that I'm saying I'm struggling with.
I know.
Like,
but I'm saying, how does one do such a thing?
I don't know. For myself, I don't know if at the moment I'm at the wisdom to do it. Like, I think for me, it's like one of those things where it's like, acknowledge that happened.
Mm-hmm.
How can I not renegotiate, reorientate to aim at what it is that I need to be aiming at? So like, all right, man, what is it that's going to give me the most bang for my buck? We'll put it that way to keep it simple.
Sure.
Well, fuck, man. Like right now, just a simple fucking cup of coffee. Cool. I'll go get a cup of coffee. All right. Now I'm more in alignment. What the fuck else? You know, what
like
else?
On a more local level.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I got to start from the bottom and step up. You know what I mean? Like that's, we're in the park.
You feel like you need to start from the bottom?
Well, I'm dealing with extreme environments. So I'll say like we got assaulted by a homeless guy the other day. Right?
Okay.
He started coming in the dog park, kicking dogs,
This is
throwing
real?
shit around. This is real. Yeah.
Wow.
Started kicking dogs, fucking yelling at us, getting in our face, saying all kinds of crazy shit.
Sure.
And that takes a dramatic amount of that cost bang for buck, energy-wise, right? Well, how do I redirect my energy so that I'm not spending the rest of my $100 thinking about this motherfucker ruining my day? Well, shit, man, let me do little things to try to like take my mind off of that and then try to aim at the bigger picture, because that's just going to happen. Sometimes you're going to have somebody come in there, stomp all over your fucking chessboard, kick shit around, and act like they won the fucking game.
Right.
And I think you got to start small, do something little for yourself as a group, even if you're like your wife or your husband's there, and slowly work yourself out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of went on a tangent. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it makes good sense, man. You want another one of these pours, or it's too much for you?
I'm not going to fucking say no.
Maybe we should rock this one here.
I don't think there's a bad choice right now.
Hell yeah. Way
All
to
of
kick
them.
off the cast, man.
Dude,
I love how I always pour yours a little heavier.
I think that's yours. It's a little heavier.
You think?
I poured yours way too heavy. Now that I'm
Perspective
like
is
paying
everything.
attention to what you're pouring, man. Look
Hell
at that.
yeah, man. Oh, I went a little heavier.
You're
yeah.
like in it for the win right
Damn,
there.
dude. So what advice would you have for people, younger artists or tattoo artists, if you have any?
The best advice I was ever given was go work with whoever's doing right you think is right.
Mm-hmm.
So like, man, I love Bobby Cupparo's work. I want a tattoo just fucking like the guy. Go work with him.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you live in fucking New Zealand.
Relocate.
Everything you can do. Sell everything, fucking move. Because like whoever it is he thinks the best, that's who you got to surround yourself. If you want to be that.
Right.
Depends on how much you're willing to sacrifice.
Sure. So you think it's just a matter of sacrificing and getting your fucking nose in there and doing
That's kind of what it seems like life is like. You know, is like, it kind of seems like for every little bit of payoff, there's an equal and opposite amount of sacrifice.
Sure.
Or vice versa with like, for every little thing that's good, it seems like there's an equal and opposite amount of fucking chaos. It's like, you can't win. Internet gets invented. Sweet, man. There's a lot of great things. We can all communicate across the world instantly. Cool. Well, now there's like fucking child sex trafficking rings and like drugs being sold in the black market instantly. It's like,
so like with the good comes the bad. From
every
things.
fucking time, no matter what we do. So like, to me, that just seems to be a natural law of how the world works. So don't pay attention to the negative part of it. What do you want? Clearly define that. If it's in tattooing, it's probably more than likely like, hey man, I love this person's work. I want to know how they're doing what they're doing. Well, how do you figure that out? You sure as fuck don't figure it out from Bo Schmo down the fucking street who's like been tatting for 35 years, slinging traditional whenever you're wanting to do fucking like realism. You're not going to figure that out that way.
Yeah.
So,
man, I wish that sometimes I could just shake somebody who's trying to get into this, because people like it seems clear to me now.
It does, but the problem is everybody treats it democratically. Everybody goes like, hey man, you're a human. Your opinion's just as valuable as my mom's. It's like, nah, man, it's not. Like,
Right.
I'm going to trust your opinion on it way fucking more
Right.
on what you think I should do as an apprentice than some random cat. And you should, because like you're asking them a question that's valuable. Hey, what do you think I should do? Because this is the direction I want to go.
Right.
And you're saying, I think you should go fucking work with, we'll say fucking Mosh Cow. You want to do graffiti faces? Well, that's the motherfucker that does it. Go out there and fucking learn from him.
Yeah, but don't bite him at the same time.
You probably have to bite him at first.
Right. You
Make
think
your-
that?
You make your own shit later.
True.
You know, you can
I mean,
segue off of
you
it.
could.
How
Yeah.
many people have like ripped off Rimber? How many people have ripped off your shit? Like, there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people that do fucking flowers. We all do them different.
So how do you feel about people ripping off people? Do you feel like that is something like, so you don't disagree with it? Like you think it's part of the process, or what's your feelings on it, really?
I think it's a natural part of the process, but you know, you got to learn somehow. I don't think it should be. I don't think you should be like trying to be that person. I think that's the error.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people will get very close at being able to recreate what somebody does, and then just do that. It's like, cool, man, you're another Phil Garcia.
Yeah.
You know, like you can do a rose just like him, but that's not a Phil Garcia rose. And honestly, you won't be able to do as good as him. Like, it's just not going to meet there.
I feel like even if you do, you're not him.
No, you never will.
I'd rather get a worse rose from him
Seriously.
than
yeah.
some kid who
For
tried
myself,
to be like
yeah.
him.
And I mean, I don't know how to explain that in the sense that it can make sense to somebody who's really struggling. I think how the natural algorithm, but I think how the natural ebb and flow of it really goes is that you aim at somebody who's doing what you want to be doing, and then you find yourself along the way.
Sure. That's
You know?
probably a perfect way to put it. Because you aim at them, and in aiming at them, you're not really going to hit them.
No, there's no way for you to.
Even if you want to,
There's 20 people in the
you're
tattoo
just
industry.
not going to do it.
Yeah. In my niche, there's 20 people I think that competently do tattooing flowers fucking well. We're all different. Like,
Right.
we can't, I couldn't try to replicate what they're doing. No matter how hard I'm trying. I'm just
In
producing.
fact, if you did try, you might even create something new.
I could, or I could fuck up and make it worse.
Kind of like what you were saying before, though, is like if you just like kind of emulate or try to aim at someone, you either fall short or beyond or to the left or to the right or fucking
But when you're an apprentice, you need that. When you're an apprentice, you need to copy a master.
a little bit, yeah.
Because if you're copying a master, you don't realize what good things that are habits that you're taking on compared to bad things.
I
that
think
are
a good
habits.
way to even word it would almost be like trying to copy a master.
Yeah. I mean, initially that's what you're doing no matter what. But like the
Do
problem
you
is
ever really copy them?
no, you can't.
Because by the time you get good enough to maybe copy them, you're already like not copying them.
You're right. But the problem is that if you were to copy somebody from a distance, you're only going to pick up 2% of what they're doing. Like if you're just copying an art. But if you're working next to them through osmosis, in a sort of sense,
Yeah, then
you're
you
going to pick up, we'll say minimum 10%. Well, you're
I
still
think if you're
10%
working
better.
next to another good tattoo artist and you're in the same room as him, even if you don't go look at them work,
You're picking shit up.
you just absorb it through your skin.
Yeah. It's like mannerism, like
Yeah.
actual art style.
I think that there's not enough said about that, and maybe we can be the first people to really like touch on it that I know of.
I don't know. When
I
people don't
feel
talk
like
about
you
it.
no, I just feel like you pick up a lot from someone based on their physical mannerism.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's why you'd want to go work with somebody who's doing what you want to do is like
Just the way they eat lunch.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything. How they run their life.
Not even how they
run their
eat
business,
lunch, how they order lunch.
how they treat their family.
Yeah.
Man, how do you have a family life? Do you treat your kids well? How do you treat your fucking dog? Like
All
those
those
things would
all
rub
those
off.
decisions
They all factor in.
and they factor in and create that artist.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is actually it really is fucking insane.
So in order for you to actually emulate someone, you would have to relive all those steps, and you'd
I mean,
be a
to-
fucking
to
psychopath.
truly-
Imagine.
you would be. To be a psychopath and truly live out their life, you would.
Imagine trying to be like an artist you admire, and he comes home
Yeah.
from work, and you're in his bathtub.
Yeah, just
and you're just
fucking
like, "Hey, I'm trying to be like, yeah,
Sleeping with his dog.
yeah, or fucking banging out his wife or something."
No, she's got higher standards than that. But the problem is like, what are you risking at the opposite? The opposite is that you listen to Joe Schmo, or even someone who's like slightly competent, who's doing close to what you want, but they're not it. It's like, well, you're like, I don't know, technically like 60, 70% more likely that you're not going to hit
But do
your
you
goal.
wait for it, or do you just take what you got? I think that's why a lot of people find
Depends.
themselves in alignment with the master teachers or whatever. And I think that's changing now a little bit with a lot of these like seminar programs
help,
and
yeah.
shit and stuff like that. Like, whatever have you, and like people being a little more like open to maybe teaching.
People
or
are like much more, I mean, from whenever we started, dude.
yeah, a little more open to it, right?
Not
Like
just
teaching.
open. People are teaching more.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody teaching like this whenever we were first getting
Sure,
going, dude.
sure.
There wasn't.
I remember when I
seminars.
first started, there was a DVD that I saw,
Yeah.
Keeping It Real by Keith Caramello. You remember that one? That was like the only thing.
It was the color portrait seminar, right?
Yeah.
And he's like smacking orange in the fucking bottom of a nose, and I was like, "How's that gonna work?" And it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. That might have been one of the first things I ever seen.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, man, I remember thinking the first tattoo convention I ever went to, I remember looking through a bunch of portfolios. It was the Asbury Park Tattoo Convention in New Jersey. And I remember I was an apprentice, and I had proved nothing yet. But I just remember walking through with Miriam and back then and just looking through portfolios and kind of being like, if people are doing this and they're here working, I don't have anything to show yet, but I know that I can do that. And it sounds like a shitty way to think,
Well,
but I just remember thinking like nothing here is that good.
that's funny.
And I didn't even tattoo yet,
The
but I was
first-
like, come on, bro.
That's
Like,
funny because the first convention I ever went to,
you stink.
I do.
No, not you.
Oh, the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably.
I mean,
stink
you
too.
might,
I might. Yeah.
but I think we're sitting far enough
There's
away.
enough distance, and there's wind. That fan is
Exactly.
blowing pretty
That's what
good.
I was going for.
Yeah. The first convention I ever went to was Ink and Iron. Whenever it was on the Queen Mary. Remember that?
No?
So
oh,
he's-
was that in like Long Island?
Yeah, in California, and it was on a boat.
No, I don't know it.
So it was like a prestigious fucking convention. All the fucking best would go to it. So like I'd go there and look at the portfolios and be like, how the fuck am I ever supposed to aim at anything close to this?
Right.
So I'd just sit behind an artist who I knew was reputable and watch
Okay.
him all fucking day. All fucking day. And man,
Like
dude,
who? Do you have any specific examples of at the time? Who you
Boris.
were? Okay. That
Boris
was one of the first people.
That was the first person. I stood there for 8 or 9 hours.
It's kind of funny because you two are the two baldest people I know.
yeah, man. I mean, I shaved my head to look just like him.
Yeah.
If he had a mustache,
What a nice guy, by the way.
I've never actually like physically
Really?
met him. Like
I met him and took a picture with him.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart.
I took a seminar with him a long time
What a
ago.
fucking sweet guy.
I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
But I know Perry's told me plenty much about him where he's like coolest fucking dude he's ever known. I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, brother. But I stood behind him for 9 hours watching him tattoo black
Wow.
and gray, and I was just like, all right, I think I can do this. I
Yeah,
think
what
I
a
can do
nice
this.
guy, man.
But walking around the convention, I did not think what you thought. That's funny. Walking around the convention, I was like, fuck, how am I ever supposed to fucking...
No, I always had like a belief like that though.
Yeah.
Not just with tattooing. I just always feel like if there's
Were you
something
always good at art?
clients ask me that question sometimes, and the answer is like yes and no.
You've improved dramatically since you know what to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always a little bit interested in it, you know.
Yeah.
But and maybe like in my art class I excelled.
Yeah.
You know, actually, funny story. I remember I was in like a high school art class and I made a painting of something, and it was hanging there. And I guess it was like kind of good, you know, for the class or whatever. And then somebody from the next class came in and was like, "Wow, that's nice." And I went, "It sucks." And they went, "Oh, well, then why don't you do it?" And I was like, "I did."
That's funny. That's awesome.
So that was kind of like my relationship with it. I
Yeah.
did win like most artistic in my high school yearbook or whatever.
So that's good
But-
fucking standards.
But it's funny because while that was occurring, and I guess people thought that I was artistic.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's again back kind of like what I was saying before is that like I think being in alignment with yourself. So like there's something clearly people were seeing that I wasn't.
I mean,
So if you live life, it almost feels like there's like a kink in the line. You, like there's two yous and your perception isn't parallel to the reality
when do you think it does become that?
when you decide.
To realize it?
When you decide. Like meaning there's the reality and there's your thought of the
Of
reality.
reality. Yeah.
and the reality is what you actually are
Yep.
and what's happening around you.
Do you feel like it's always a constant battle to realize what that is?
I'm not sure yet because I'm just a human as well, experiencing the same phenomena.
Yeah.
But I do believe there's moments where those paths cross.
Yeah. Where
Right.
you have
You ever heard
clairvoyance.
you literally hear the saying like when stars align.
Yeah.
Like you had just said clairvoyance, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, clairvoyance to me is more like clarity of being like, oh, fuck, okay, this is what I'm...
Yeah, but why
seeing.
do you think that is? Did you ever make a decision and it just seems perfect?
Yes.
Yeah,
But I
did
don't
you
know
ever?
why that is. That to me, that was following the faith or following consciousness of being like,
Yeah,
all right, this
but
is
I
the way
guess
it's
you
supposed
can
to go.
name it whatever you want.
This is, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess my point is, I think when you're, because how can you make a good decision for yourself when you're not even like in alignment with what's right?
I don't think you can if you're not in alignment with what's right. But I think the only way you can be in alignment with what's right is aiming at something that's like, you've taken enough forethought to aim at something that's in the direction you know.
Yeah, like
You
you were
need to
saying
go.
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But like I was saying before that, and then when you do make that shot and you're heading towards the target that you
Who knows
believe,
where you land?
well, what I'm saying is, what if there's a bunch of mini decisions along the way?
Yeah.
So now you need to bring that same energy into
Again.
those little decisions.
And again, yeah.
And then I guess that's like refining your aim.
Yeah, it's always
Maybe.
changing. You know, it's always changing. It's like you had an initial, man, I was talking to my best friend. His name's Travis. He lives in California.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Meadow.
Yeah, you did fucking
Yeah.
meet him, a son of a bitch. So I was talking to him a while ago, and he was saying, man, I remember whenever you decided you wanted to be a tattoo artist,
Mm-hmm.
you had told me your initial plan was to just do the designs you came up with on people, and they'd just come in and get whatever it was that you designed because it was your work.
Right.
And I was like, fuck, man, I was saying that whenever I was fucking 17,
Bro,
16.
I'm telling you, man.
And he's like, yeah, dude, that was your dream.
I know what you're saying.
And I was like, that's fucking crazy. I don't remember thinking that or saying that.
It's like subconscious foresight.
Yeah, like I did.
Yeah.
I knew something I didn't know I knew. And
You always do.
well,
You always know.
but that's the fucking
This
part.
is the point that I'm getting at.
I hear you,
But
that's
you don't-
fucking frustrating.
One half of you doesn't, the other does.
And that's that fucking double parallel we're talking about. Where
Yeah.
it's like, how do I separate and realize what is and isn't? And how do I understand what's egotistical and not real, and actually what
Well,
is
I
reality?
think it comes down to just two lanes of being.
Hmm.
Love and fear.
And-
Because what keeps you away from that line, in my opinion, is something that happened to you in the past kind of wedges you away.
Mhm.
Because if it's like a kid touching a hot stove, like if it hurts, you're not going to do it. So there might have been times when you were vulnerable towards something and it didn't go your way or something. So then you get more constricted.
even though that was like the way you're supposed to go,
Yeah.
potentially. Yeah.
And even you were saying about before things being tough.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times what's right isn't the most comfortable.
Well, that's what I've found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what I'm following up on.
I
And
think there's something to that.
And I think that's why I even want to do something like this, because it's also very uncomfortable for me. I'm even a little anxious to come do this,
yeah.
even though it's like something I created. Like I didn't have to buy microphones and talk to you today. I could have just called you and been like, yeah, cool. We could have had the same conversation without microphones.
I don't know if we would have gotten as deep. Like
I almost think this might bring it out of you.
I think there's something about this format
Yeah.
that makes us pay attention to each other.
Yeah.
To a degree that we not only
Yeah, I
because
would have
can-
checked my email 3 times already in
sure.
this conversation.
and had different thoughts and
Yeah,
wild
yeah.
thoughts and like we've
Yeah.
just been talking shit the
the
whole time.
format's great.
And that's totally fine.
Totally.
I love talking shit with you. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that.
I know.
But I'm saying it forces me not only to listen, but to hear.
Yeah.
Literally, because it's in my fucking ear the entire time.
Sure.
Everything that you're fucking saying.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
Be like, damn, I hadn't considered it that way. You know? And like,
Bro,
was-
it's like magic.
Yeah, it's like podcasts are a form of therapy. Thanks, Bobby.
Bro, it's actually funny you say that because I'm not even kidding around with you, man.
Yeah.
I had that thought.
Yeah?
Yeah. I used to go to therapy and I don't now.
Why?
Why? Because I moved and, I don't
Okay.
do the Zoom thing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like in doing this is good enough. This is
This
it.
is good.
Yeah, it's
This
cool.
is definitely good.
Hell yeah.
And
I'm
I-
so excited to get this going again, man.
What I'm interested to see is like, assuming we get to like fucking like really hash this out, I'm really interested to see how things lay over and the conclusions that you come to as a whole for all the artists that you interview and all the people you interview.
This is the point.
That's going to be
Man,
awesome.
I'm actually kind of excited you see it that way because that's how I was seeing it.
Yeah, I absolutely fucking want to see how it.
Because I think just by talking to so many different people, there's so much to be like melded.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
There's got
to me, that's exciting.
And in a way
that's
because
so
I'm not
exciting.
doing it, I won't understand it, but I'm fucking.
I'm really excited just to talk to a whole different group of people.
Yeah.
All different types of people.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to anyone. And I encourage anyone to reach out to me that wants to talk.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially
because that's going to be, to me, that's going to be really exciting. And then I'm excited to see what comes of that.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Because I thought the same thing.
Those like casting couch people. All
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Those people.
Yeah.
Bobby's your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, you chug these fucking bourbons.
Yeah, and I'm like, what am I, a fish?
Hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, man. We've been doing this for a while.
Well, I mean, technically, we've been doing it for fucking longer. But,
yeah. For the people still hanging on, we recorded a 2-hour. What was it like? No, was it 2?
3.
No, it was like a 2 or 3 hour episode before this that I wasn't recording.
Yeah, but we had a good talk too.
But I actually think it was kind of cool.
Let us like brush some fucking dust off. That's for sure. It's been a long time.
Hell yeah.
It's been like 4 or 5 years since we fucking done this or something.
I think the first time we did it was 2018.
God
it's kind of fitting that's like full circle. Back here we are again.
Yeah.
I think the setting's a little better, right?
Dude, this is like your shit, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
Me too, man. I can't wait to see what you do with the whole like green screen effects and all that shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to keep it real, man. Raw.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not going to have, I mean, I thought you were talking about like all like the carnival people and all that coming through here.
I mean, I can't wait to have carnival people here.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But no green screen.
No? Are you going to take the crew out to medieval times and all that?
What crew?
The whole camera crew and all that.
Oh, these guys?
Yeah.
Oh, and all the producers and everything? Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're going to go to medieval times.
That'll be a good time.
For sure.
You got to be sure to ride the dragon.
Yeah.
And
what's your favorite medieval times color? I was yellow when I went.
I always did purple.
But you don't get to pick, do you?
I don't know.
I went when I was 7.
Oh, man. I've been going for, we went like 6 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you eat with your hands?
Huh?
You ate with your hands?
No, I just deep throated turkey legs the whole time. Yeah.
But you picked it up with a fork? Or?
No. Straight
handed it?
Yeah, of course, man.
But that's what I was asking.
You asked me what my favorite color was.
No, I asked you if you ate with your hands.
Oh, they just said it. What? How did I hear it then?
I don't know.
That's
some question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
No.
So you grabbed it with your hands.
Definitely ate with my hands. I heard utensils, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to fucking eat that shit like a woman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if you ate with your hands or utensils.
No, I'm just going right at it.
So you grabbed it. Did you grab the thick side or the skinny side of the chicken leg?
No, you start with the skinny.
Okay.
That way it's
and you
easier.
stick the deep side down your throat?
Manned it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you pull it back up or you left it down there?
No, you eat the bone.
Okay.
Yeah. Like Fred Flintstone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeb dabadoo.
That's great.
I mean, it was. I freaked my wife
Did your
out.
knight win?
We didn't stay for that part.
Okay. So
I'm not a fan of losers.
So you just deep throated chicken and left on the notion.
Turkey.
Oh, turkey.
Yeah.
And then you left.
Chicken hurts my stomach, so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Got in a couple sword fights.
Man, I drank too many of these bourbons.
This was a good time.
It's a good time, dude.
Yeah.
Should we wrap this shit up or what?
I guess so. Or have another. I don't
You
know.
want another bourbon?
I do, but look, I got to fucking drive. And it's already 10:30.
Help yourself, whichever one you want.
I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, let's bullshit a little more. Fuck it.
I feel like, you know what's sad is like, I feel like we just took a piss, and I feel like I got to piss again.
You want to piss and come back? Damn.
That's a heavy pour.
That's a good pour, my dude.
I fucked up, didn't I?
Nah, I mean, you didn't fuck up for me.
Do you need some?
No, I'm good.
Good.
I'll pour one in a minute.
Man.
You know I can't help myself.
Well, they are good.
I've been rocking that pen.
Dude, I got to be honest. Every single one I've had, I've not been upset about. Like, all
Good bourbon is good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start getting sadly more into this.
No, it's a good thing to get into because you can drink it like kind of nice when you decide.
You know what I think makes a difference a lot is the glass. The glass makes a huge difference.
I told you this 100 times. When places don't put it in this glass, it's wrong.
Yeah, no.
Because when you're buying a high-end bourbon, it's one thing like, look, okay, I've been to bars where they gave me a neat bourbon in plastic cup.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, when I went to like the Comedy Mothership, they give me a wide glass.
Like
It's
a solo
fine.
cup?
No,
Like
a
sort of
whiskey glass, but the
Oh.
circle one. We
okay.
had
like
it.
a shot glass.
But I'm saying no, a wide whiskey glass.
Like that one at fucking Jay Carver's?
No, like the one we had at like Whistler's or something, like the
Just like
A
a
rocks
standard.
glass.
Yeah. Okay.
like
okay.
meaning that's not good.
Yeah, that's
to
not
drink,
ideal. Yeah.
but it's way better than the plastic.
yeah.
Meaning like that's still like the third best. You get what I'm trying to say?
But this makes such a difference on
This is the first best.
yes.
But
Would you drink wine out of this? Is that like a thing
No.
people do? Why is that not okay?
because this is purely the proper amount of snifting for whiskey.
How did somebody figure out that this is like better? That's what like who fucking figured that out?
It's because the top is smaller than the bottom.
That is a hefty pour. Fuck me.
I mean, you don't gotta finish it, but the bottom is wider, so it pushes the aromas up. That's
Yeah.
all. Right? And
No,
but when you drink the wide glass, you have to get more in there to smell it.
Oh man. I don't know. I think the last time I drank around you, we had those fucking sliders. from
Oh,
that
yeah,
truck
yeah,
down the
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god, dude, those are fucking good.
Are you trying to tell me you want them?
I'm hungry. We ate a while.
I'm hungry
ago.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
I was almost
actually.
thinking of wrapping this thing up just to go eat some.
Yeah, I don't fucking blame you for thinking
Hell
that at
yeah.
all. But I did just do a fucking hefty pour, so you
I
tell
mean,
me.
we can hang out and drink it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we can wrap this thing up. We'll hang out. We'll go grab food.
We can do both.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we gave the people enough bullshit?
Do you think we did?
What didn't we cover?
I don't know.
Covered.
But you could always come back. We could do this again. We could do this all the time.
Yeah. Well, people will ask.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I want more information on heroin abuse.
Well, people used to contact me and say they liked listening all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
And you know what? I should reach out and say I just like listening.
By the way, if you're a follower of Mark Wade, make sure you don't email his imposter or
Or
scammer.
No. Be sure you.
I
do.
might just start donating money to your scammer to keep his business going.
Honestly, I want everyone to do it. I just want everyone to send him $1. You know, like, but he's asking for like $200 a person, and I want everyone to send him $1 and be like, "Hey, man, like, I'll give you like, 3 Limp Biscuits and a cheese or something like
Hell
that
yeah.
to make up for it."
Absolutely.
I just want to harass the fuck out of this guy because I figured when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, all right, dude, if IG's not going to take you down, fuck them. Let's just go hard and have everybody.
It's like a thing now, huh? Where people are just impostering tattoo artists
Yeah,
because they
but-
see the scam angle.
But
with
why
the
not fuck
deposit.
with them? Like, if somebody's going to take it to that credit, it's like, okay,
You know what you should
motherfucker,
do? Create like a media account,
just to fuck with
like
those motherfuckers?
spotlighting those people.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if it would ever. I don't know if I could keep up with that. I would just be happy. Like the idea
Seemingly every tattoo artist I ever see
has that.
has like
Have you
somebody
had
doing
anybody
it.
do that to you? yet?
No, I almost feel like it can't
gotta
work.
exist.
No. I feel like it has a lot to do with your name.
Hmm.
Like, because you have Mark Wade Inc., they can make Mark Wade LNK.
Well,
I feel
that's-
like mine's harder to replicate.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen them
You
do
get what I'm
just like
saying?
double
Like, they could put 3 T's or an underscore.
3 P's, another underscore at the end. Like I've seen them do that where it's just one little character
Mm-hmm.
difference, and that's like all it fucking took. Like this one being an L instead of an I, I've literally had people being like, "Oh fuck!" Like
What
he's
if it's
reaching out to
me? I might start doing it.
But, dude, if you're getting your money, I get it. You know, like,
It's a good ass idea.
It's honestly not a bad idea. I just hope that like you're getting berated by fucking random people being like, "Nice tattoos, man. I want to set up an appointment. When are you coming to Atlanta?" And like all kinds of random shit like that, because that would make me pretty happy.
Yeah. I mean, you just gave me a good idea.
Yeah, just start
I might go home and do that
make
now.
a fake page for yourself.
Yeah.
and then
Bro, I should make a fake page with my own name.
yeah, and report that.
You know
guy.
what I was almost kind of thinking?
Yeah,
Making all the fake variations possible of my name and just having them as dead accounts.
well, that's actually it's kind of what GoDaddy did, isn't it, with URLs?
No, I'm just talking about to protect scam artists.
No, I know.
Imagine if you already owned
What
Mark
if you
Wade
sold
LNK
those pages to scam artists,
or sold them to artists.
What like what's? I don't
What if
understand
I
that
just
part.
go up to artists and be like, "Hey, I'm like the new internet mafia.
So you're just like making pages. That
Hey,
are
do you
very
want
similar?
protection?
Yeah,
Mark,
I
do you
got
want protection?
Yeah, no.
Do you want
No,
protection?
I don't want protection.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
raw dog this
You
shit.
don't want it?
Nope.
Hey guys, email me, Mark Wade LNK. Hey Mark, you want protection?
What kind of protection?
Look, I'm just trying to tell you, you're never going to have a scam account again.
No protection for me.
You don't want it.
No, I like the
Okay,
scams.
hey,
Yeah.
M4RK Inc. Hey guys, I'm here to collect a deposit.
In Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mark M4RK Inc. is coming to Florida next month.
Yep.
And I'll take a $50 deposit, only $50.
$50.
$50.
Hit Bobby Cupparo.
No. Hit up M4RK Inc. I'm ready to collect.
Yep. AKA
Yeah.
Bobby Cupparo.
I'm collecting.
That's not a bad idea.
I might even go down there and just do tattoos lefty
Yeah, and just say you're Bobby.
and just say I'm
say
you.
you're Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Do them lefty, get that chunk you
That
get.
way nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, scam wise, probably the smartest fucking play of plagiarism I've heard.
I think
like,
so.
you know, why not?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
just got to make it like worth it, you know?
100%.
Yep.
That's it. That's the new plan. I was going to invest in real estate, but I think that's where I'm actually going to
No,
go now.
real estate's old, bro. Like steal artist pages. That's way cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can figure out how to hack them too, do that.
I was going to invest in the SPY and S&P 500.
Yeah, no, dude. You're way above that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep this shit real.
I might make the account name tomorrow, Nico Hurtado.
Yeah, with 1K.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's good money to be made.
I mean, I'm considering sending money to that guy right now.
Yeah. I'll email you later.
You mean Nico will?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, sign me up.
All right. Let's wrap this shit up. Let's go eat.
All right.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming down and doing this shit.
No, always a pleasure, Bobby. Thanks, sir.
Tell the people where they can find you.